Hello everybody and welcome to the penultimate round of the 2022 GP4 Formula E Offline Championship. We are here at the Dubai Autodrome for the Dubai ePrix, the penultimate race of the season where both championships could be decided. Obviously not in qualifying of course, but in the race it could be decided. I am JW97. I was meant to be joined by Kurisu, but unfortunately Kurisu is running a little bit late, but Kurisu will be joining us for the race. But in the meantime, for qualifying, we are going to try somebody new for commentary. I am joined by Hyun, aka Coachy Cheong.
Hello there. It's very new to me, so yeah, I hope you all like me.
Yep, obviously your first time doing commentary for us. You was meant to join us, of course, for the Mazzano race, if I'm not mistaken, but obviously with everything that went on in terms of delays for that race, you unfortunately couldn't make that one. But make it up for this one, and then who knows, really? Maybe you could be here in 2 weeks for the Manama race. Who knows, really? But yeah, it should be an interesting one. Obviously, Dubai. It's the third time that the series have been racing here, of course, and well, it's been known for quite a lot of overtaking. But of course, I remember last season here in particular, where Santino Andreoli kind of bottled his chances of winning the championship, really, in the end, which obviously handed it on a silver plate to Michael Mocho at the finale.
Then let's hope that it's not gonna happen again this season.
Yep, because of course Jacob Stepniczka comes into this race with a chance of winning the championship, as do Jaguar Racing, of course. They have a chance of winning the team's championship, but as mentioned at the top of the show, that obviously isn't going to happen in qualifying, because of course you only get 3 points, you only get 3 bonus points for qualifying, of course, and obviously in the race, it's obviously the maximum you can get per weekend is obviously 30 points, of course. So obviously it's not possible for Stepniczka to go above 30 points ahead of his nearest rival, of course, which is actually a tie at the moment between Jaswant Kumar and Ross Denholm. Kumar being ahead on the count back of the most second places so far. But yeah, obviously the gap is 13 points going into this. But in your personal opinion, Hein, do you think it will get wrapped up this week, or do you think it will go down to the finale?
If for my opinion, I would say that this race will be wrapping up for the championship. So let's just hope if Jacob Stepnica can win this without any issues.
Okay, you're going with Stepniczka wrapping it up this week. I personally think it will go down to the wire, but we've seen strange things at this track before. Anything can happen, really. But obviously, we'll have to wait to see. Of course, the finale being in 2 weeks' time at the outer layout of Bahrain, and that usually provides a very exciting race given the short nature of that circuit. But we're running on board with Marvo Koenig, who's the first driver out on the racetrack for Andretti. And he'll be soon starting his lap because he's only just coming around the penultimate corner. All 13 cars are out on track because, of course, only 13 cars are able to go out at the time to avoid that little pit glitch that we had throughout last season and in previous seasons when we tried all 22 cars going out on the track at the same time. But anyway, Marvo Koenig is about to start his first flying lap of the race of the qualifying session, I should say, as they come down towards the first 2 corners of the racetrack. It's a downhill complex, this is, so very easy to lock up the rears through into there as Koenig breaks himself into turn 1 and he's going to pull to the left into turn 2 rather than turning right, because that is obviously the international layout. A strange fact, in fact, the international layout is also an FIA Grade 1 circuit. I'm not sure if it's actually available on GP4. It might be, it might not be. I might have to double check on that one. But anyway, as Koenig makes his way through the double right-hander, where of course back in 2020 Alexander Arnold ended his chances of winning the 2020 championship by rejoining dangerously into the path of another car. Koenig setting a 33.740 in the middle sector on that occasion, as the German now then makes his way down the back straight, which is where we can see most of the overtakes being done. We also kind of seen that as well down at turn 1, and if you get a good run perhaps out of turn 3 as well. We have seen quite a lot of around the outside moves at that part of the track. So anyway, into the hairpin then goes Marvo Koenig in the Andretti, using a bit of curb on the inside before making his way through into the left-hander. Now then we will go, as now making our way now then in towards the final few turns on the racetrack. We will go as Koenig approaches the end of that middle sector and does in fact, I think it's just coming out of this turn, in fact, where the end of the middle sector is. And there we go. It's a 1 minute 16, I think that says, 0.388 in the middle sector. So Koenig now then approaching the final couple of corners. He will go on the racetrack, so through to the third to last corner. Bless yourself there, Hyun. As now coming around into the final couple of corners we go, through the penultimate turn, which is slightly flat out, but now into the final corner we go on the racetrack, and then it's a short run to the line, so through the final turn, and let's see what the benchmarker time is going to be for Marvo Koenig in the Andretti. He now makes his way onto the pit straight and across the line he will go, and the benchmarker time is a 1 minute 48.0 as Dumal goes into second place there. Neuville crosses the line, she goes fastest by 0.3 of a second. Trey now to the top of the timing sheets now then, so Koenig didn't have the best of first laps, I must have said. Bracky now goes into second. Coach Chum Cheon goes to the top at 25,000, gets immediately beaten by Daniel Venture, who got a little bit of slipstream there going across the line. Robert Ionescu across the line, he will go now then in the Audi, and not the best of laps, he goes into 5th position so far, and he's desperate to try and get his championship back on track after what was not the best of weekends at Misano last time out. Cass Morgan now then, he's actually got a car right behind him looking at the mirrors now. I'm not sure who exactly he's holding up, but Cass Morgan now then making his way into the final corner and onto the pit straight now then. He will go as now the Mahindra driver will now come across the line now then, and he goes into 8th position, make that 9th because Carpenter himself goes into 6th position as who is going to be behind him. DeChelli goes into 9th position meanwhile. No, sorry, in fact, where is DeChelli? I think, anyway, Stepniczka across the line, only P9 for the championship leader, has got a yellow flag as DeChelli waits a second, and Chwei is already out of the session. So looks like a mechanical failure for Sana Chwei, and that's her session done with due to the spare car ban. So that's her day already done with in qualifying.
Well, this is new to me because I never seen any cars got a mechanical failure right after a lap.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think Formula E's been kind of lucky, really, when it comes to spare car bans this season. We haven't had too many, but clearly Sana Chwei is a rarity in all of that, and, well, that means our session done with. Luckily, we don't have to pause anymore, because Yuri, thanks to his new PC, is able to do it a lot quicker than usual. In fact, he's got a number system now, which actually helps him to identify which car is in the garage, so he can just do it there without the need of having to pause the game, which is very good. So, anyway, is Koenig now into the pit lane, along with the only Envision Virgin Racing car left, that being Raphael Dumal. But at the moment, Adventure currently top by 0.7 of a second, but we still, of course, have got 9 more cars to do a lap, of course, and it'd be interesting to see what those 9 cars are able to do on those second runs there. But a very good opening lap for Adventure so far, Hyun.
Yeah, it is, but well, we're gonna have to see. Can Adventure's gonna hold the his lap time against any drivers? So yeah, we're gonna have to see it.
Yep, indeed. As so far, all the cars are now making their way back to the pits now. Then, and so far, as Jackson not wasting any time, he's going out onto the racetrack now. Then. In the Audi, of course, as we know, there are a few guys in this series who are currently fighting for top class seats, of course. Brandon Jackson, Robert Ionescu, and even Daniel Adventure being the most notable of the 3 right there. And they'll be looking to try and see if they can do well in these final 2 races to try and see if they can get themselves into the top class for next season. As the final car, I think that is, has just finally come into pit lane. As Jackson now then makes his way into the double left-hander, as he'll be preparing to start his first flying lap very soon now then. As so far... none of the drivers who have done a time so far have gone out on the track just yet. In fact, I think Jackson's still the only one out there at the moment. Nobody has gone out there at the moment. Although I think that some of that might be down to the fact that Sana Chwei obviously had to pull off. But it looks like we have got some movement in the pit lane. It looks like one of the Porsches is now going out onto the track. As now Jackson will make his way through into the left-hander now. Then before making his way towards the final few turns on the racetrack now then. As now through into the right-hander we will go. As Jackson using a bit of curb on the outside before making his way towards the final few turns on the racetrack, the final 4 corners in fact. And we have seen in the past some strange things with this left-hander in particular, where people cut across some people and for some reason they like to back off for some strange reason. So that might be a thing to keep an eye on the race a little bit later on, as more cars are coming out on track. So Jackson will be hoping he doesn't get any traffic by the time he comes back around, as now he rounds the final turn now then on the racetrack, making his way onto the straight. And now Jackson is about to start his first flying lap now then in the Audi, as he now comes down onto the pit straight before making his way towards the first few corners. Is there any cars coming out of the pit meanwhile? There is one. It might get held up here by someone. I'm not quite sure which car that was that came out. It looks like it's one of the Mercedes is holding him up there, so that's not going to help Jackson at all as he tries to go around the outside of this Mercedes driver. I'm not sure if it's either Razin or Adventure that's gone out there. Well, Adventure is out on the track, so it might be him, in fact, the current pole sitter, but Jackson's lap already compromised there.
Well, very big shame for Jackson though. But let's hope that they're not gonna crash each other again.
Well, yeah, let's hope that's not the case, really, as Jackson had to back off there, so that's not going to help his lap time any good whatsoever. As they now make their way onto the back straight now. Then Jackson looking to the outside of Daniel Adventure, and it looks like he's just going to go streaming past him there. So, a little bit strange there. That Adventure was a little bit slow going down the straight. We don't often see too many overtakes going around the outside there, so yeah, that was a little bit of a strange one there. But Jackson would have got some slipstream out of that to try and compensate for the lift off that he had to do there whilst he was behind Adventure. But now he's coming up towards the right-hander now on the racetrack as he'll now make his way towards the end of the middle sector, and let's see what his middle sector is going to look like. And he's still 5 tenths off in that middle sector, so he's kind of maintained that gap that he had in that first sector, so he's kind of gained a little bit thanks to that slipstream he got there from Adventure. But let's see what he's able to do in this final sector now. Then he's still way off of Adventure so far in this qualifying, judging from the middle sector. But now Jackson making his way through into the final couple of corners he will go, as Jackson now then through the final turn he will soon approach then. So into the final corner and onto the pit straight now then will go Brandon Jackson in the Audi. And where is he going to place himself after his first final lap? Across the line he will go, and he goes into second. He found some time in the last sector and goes a 10th behind Daniel Adventure. So it does make you wonder if Adventure didn't hold him up there, could he potentially have got to the top of the timing sheets? Who knows really. As we now look at Hoang Min Nguyen now then in the Porsche. So this was the second car that made his way out on the track. Of course, Porsche are a Group 3 car this season. Hasn't been the best of seasons for them, and especially for Nguyen as well, who has been struggling with this car this season, and he finds himself 1.9 seconds off in that middle sector because of it. But can he potentially gain some time like Jackson did in that last sector to possibly avoid last place in the Porsche now then, as he makes his way into the final few turns on the racetrack? And now into the final 2 corners we will go, and Nguyen now then through into the penultimate corner. Now into the final corner will go the Vietnamese driver, as he now makes his way through the final turn and onto the pit straight now then we will go, as he will now blast his way onto the pit straight and across the line he will go, and he goes into 12th, so he did find some time in the last sector to avoid going into currently last position, but he's still over 2 seconds off of Daniel Adventure. Speaking of Mercedes now then, we're looking at Mohamed Razan, his teammate now then, he's just making his way into the final corner. Still yet to get a victory this season is Razan, but still mathematically in contention for the championship, as Razan now then comes across the line, and he goes fastest by 10th of a second, so it's now a Mercedes 1-2. Here comes Kochi Cheong now then in the Andretti, and he goes into 4th position, a good first lap for him there. Ross Denholm on the championship contenders, only P5 for the Scotsman. Leighton Aviard currently holding up one of the DS de Cheetahs at this stage, and it looks like these two have been holding each other up too much and have been compromising their laps as a result. So Aviard will go into last, 4 seconds off, and Kwan goes 19. So yeah, those two are holding each other up massively on that lap. P19 for Tobler. Neuville goes into 12th for the moment as Jackson goes back in. Daniel Adventure, it looks like he's not going to improve. It looks like he was being held up there by Jackson, and he stays in second place for the moment. As we now look at Koh Chun Cheong now then, who is coming around the final couple of corners. He's currently in 7th place at this stage at the moment. His teammate Bracky is currently in 9th, so currently 7th and 9th for the 2 Venturi cars at the moment. Of course, they'll have a new title sponsor next season, more Venturi. They won't be sponsored by Rocky next season. They'll be sponsored by Siemens, I think it's pronounced, judging from what Kurisu said, or was it Yuri last week? I can't remember. But anyway, Koh Chun Cheong crosses the line, goes into 6th position, so goes a position better than previously. Jaswant Kumar, one of the championship contenders, he crosses the line to go into 5th position for the moment. Bartosz Bracki across the line, he goes, he's up on his personal best and goes back up into 9th position in front of Troy, who of course is not taking any further part in this session as a result of breaking down of breaking down earlier on in the session, so she will not take any further part in qualifying. So that will be that really, but they are the second runs done with, and it is currently a Mercedes 1-2 at the moment.
Whoa. I not gonna lie, I think Larson maybe had a good chance to win, but remember in the race where we think there were 2 drivers who got on pole, but unfortunately bad luck happened for each of the pole drivers, and Larson might be could be in trouble during the race.
Yeah, I think you are correct there, because Razan did take pole, I think, also at Mazzano, yeah, the last race. So, yeah, he obviously dropped back. It seemed like his race pace was just gone all over the place. So whether, if he does keep the pole, whether that's going to repeat itself in the race, I'll have to wait and see, really. But anyway, as now we've got Cass Morgan, who's going out on track for Mahindra, and he's currently, where is he at the moment? P17 at this stage. His teammate Cesar Cohen Jr., who's been the one to pick up points for Mahindra this season, is currently in 19th position. Morgan, I think, is still yet to score points, if I'm not mistaken, along with Ho Min Nguyen. So he'll be hoping to try and see if he can get some points in the final 2 races of the season, including this one. But anyway, as now Morgan makes his way.
Don't forget Jacob Chopra though.
Okay. Yep. As now we come onto the back straight, as I think everybody who needs to come in is now back into the pit. So Morgan has pretty much got the track to himself at this stage. As you can see on the timing tower on the left hand side, he's the only one on the track. So anyway, is now coming around the hairpin now. Then we go. As now, as we can see that Marvo Koenig is going out on track now for Andretti, but Morgan does, like with Jackson, possibly faces the risk of potentially having traffic on his lap. So I'll have to wait and see how that one fares, really, with just over 15 minutes to go in this qualifying session to determine the grid for the Dubai ePrix here at the Dubai Autodrome. The third time that we raced here, of course, and a pretty good track as well. Who knows, really? Maybe it could be a future top class destination in the future. Oh, now she has. Oh, she has. As Yuri says that. Yuri says that. Uh, as Yuri says that, Choi is now in the garage. He was just saying how she hadn't been spawned yet, but now she has. And well,
About Deborah.
yep. Yeah, indeed. So that's that. But anyway, we know that Cass Morgan has started a lap in the Mahindra, but it looks like he's got caught up in some traffic, I think. So we might as well go back to Cass Morgan whilst we're at it. I think he's just coming out of Sector 1, I think, if I'm not mistaken, looking at the mini-map. And yes, he is. And in fact, he has got a car in front, and I'm not sure if that Mercedes actually compromised him in the first sector. But either way, he's down on his personal best. Down on his personal best, though, in the first sector, but it looks like that Mercedes, which is obviously Mohamed Razan, is starting to get away. Also on the track, whilst we wait for Morgan to come out of the second sector, we also have, we obviously mentioned Razan, but we also have Jackson, Kochi Cheong, DeChelli, Carpenter, Ionescu, Koenig, Nguyen, Morgan, obviously, because we're viewing him, Demel, and that's it. So that's that really. I thought Cohen's name didn't have the pit indicator, but then I had to double check there. But anyway, Morgan's the only Mahindra then out on the racetrack as he comes towards the end of that second sector. He's 4 tenths down on that personal best in at the middle sector, as you can see on the def panel on the top of your screen there. But anyway, as now approaching the final few corners, we will go on the racetrack. As he will now make his way into the final couple of corners, goes the Mahindra of Cass Morgan, and now into the final turn will go the Mahindra driver now then, as he now makes his way through the final corner and onto the pit straight now, then will go Cass Morgan in that Mahindra as he now makes his way onto the pit straight and across the line he will go, and he does not improve. He stays where he is as Kochi Cheon behind starts a lap. Same with Nguyen, same with Ionescu, same with Demel, and same with Jackson there. So we look at Koenig, who's up on his personal best in the first sector. There's some side-by-side action going on in the background there as I was just looking. But anyway, Koenig, as we focus on him, comes towards the left-hander now then in the Andretti, and we'll see if he's still able to be up on his personal best once he gets to that middle sector. As now making his way through the right-hander we go, as now heading in. Well, I can't hear anything at the moment, but Koenig 1.1 seconds up on his personal best in the middle sector now, then as he makes his way through into the next sequence of corners on the racetrack. Now through into the left-hander goes Koenig in the Andretti, and now into the final couple of the corners goes the German driver. He's currently, where is he at the moment? Currently 15th, so let's see. Yep, we'll see where he can end up after this now then, as he's currently up in his personal best. So Koenig out of the final corner and onto the pit straight he goes. Marvo Koenig across the line, he will go, and he goes into 7th place, so he gets himself into the top 10. DeChelli looks like he's holding up a DS to Cheetah, but he's up on his personal best. He crosses the line and goes quickest by 2 tenths of a second. So DeChelli to the top as Carpenter, thanks to the slipstream, goes up into 8th place. So DeChelli ends the Mercedes front row lockout at the moment. And speaking of Mercedes, Razin is down on his personal best by nearly a second in the middle sector, so it looks like he's not able to match his personal best at the moment. Is Mohamed Razan, as he now makes his way through into the final few turns on the racetrack. Razin through into the penultimate corner, and now into the final corner will go the Indonesian driver now then, as the Mahindra behind of Cass Morgan goes into the pits. But anyway, as Razin through the final corner onto the pit straight now then, he will go as Razin now then crosses the line, and he does not improve and stays in second place. Kochi Cheong also not on an improvement, and he stays in 5th place for the moment. Nguyen crosses the line up on his personal best, goes up into 13th, a good time there. Ionescu up on his personal best meanwhile, as he now comes across the line. Can he get himself into the top 10? Ionescu across the line he goes, and he goes up into 4th. That's more like it. He gets in front of teammate Jackson at this stage, as Demel now then comes across the line. Indian Vision Virgin Racing Car goes into 10th, so an improvement there. Jackson not on an improvement, and he stays in 5th for the moment now then, as we now look at Tobler, who is up on his personal best, currently 20th at the moment in the Neo. Teammate Neuville currently up in 16th at this stage, as Tobler makes his way through the left-hander now then, as the Czech driver will come up towards the end of Sector 2 in just a little bit. But yeah, now coming around that right-hander we go, as now making his way towards the end of the middle sector now then, and he's up on his personal best still, but by 3/10 of a second. So in fact, looking at the gap so far, I don't think he's going to gain any places at this stage. I think he's going to remain in 20th, but we'll wait and see how he hooks up this last sector, of course, as he now makes his way towards the final couple of corners on the racetrack. So through the penultimate turn, now into the final corner, we'll go Jacob Tobler in the Neo now then, as he now makes his way around the final corner and onto the pit straight now then will go the Czech driver, as Tobler now then comes across the line. Can he improve as he crosses the line? And no, he can't. He actually lost time in the last sector and remains in 20th position. Kwan across the line in the DS Cheetah, and he does improve in the last sector, of course, because he got held up, but only up into 18th position. And they are these runs done with, and once again, somebody else goes to the top. This time, Dominic DeCelli, who I think it's safe to say is determined to put the disappointment of the Rimini ePrix behind, as he was leading the race comfortably out in front, and then his car decided to pack in on him.
Well, let's see if the Cherry. Sorry about that. Well, let's see if the Cherry is gonna get his redemption after that blowout in his home race.
Indeed, and obviously one he'll want to forget about, that is for sure, as Aviard is obviously waiting to go out on the track in just a little bit. Just Kwan and Tobler who are out there, as Aviard gets himself out of the garage and he's about to go out onto the racetrack. And here we were looking to try and get out of last position. Teammate Nguyen is currently in 15th place, so given he's in a Group 3 Porsche, he's actually doing pretty decently so far in P15. Aviard looking to try and match him as best as possible in the second Porsche, as he comes out of the pit lane with just over 8.5 minutes to go in this session now then, as he now makes his way through the right-hander on the racetrack. And sorry, it was under 8.5 minutes there. It just looked like a 3 there from the screen share we have, but now it's now a bit more clearer now. But anyway, as now coming out of the right-hander, there he goes, as there is some movement in the pit lane looking on the mini-map on the right-hand side. But Aviard through the left-hander he goes, as he will now make his way onto the back straight with just under 8 minutes to go in this qualifying session to determine the grid for the Dubai ePrix. So currently right now, just looking at where the championship leader is, Stepniczka all the way down in 17th position. And well, if he wants to try and wrap up the championship this week, he's really got to find something in this qualifying session.
Well, he will have to do the Plan B situation, which is the fight on to the top.
Yep, indeed, and of course, so we'll have to wait and see if Stepniczka can get a little bit more higher than 17th place at the moment, but that's not really ideal for him in the Jaguar, especially when both he and Jaguar have a chance of wrapping up the championship this week. But yeah, at the moment, if it were to stay like that in the race, of course, then the championship would indeed go down to the final race. So that's that really, as Aviard now about to start his lap, just looking on the minimap to see if he's going to encounter any traffic when he starts his lap now then. But the Porsche driver making his way around the final corner and onto the pit straight now then. He will go as Aviard now then starts his next flying lap in the Porsche. So he starts his lap now then, and now making his way down towards the first couple of corners now then he will go, as it looks like there is a car in front, but it looks like it's too far away for Aviard to get caught behind. So it looks like he's going to get a clear run on this occasion. So through into turn 2 now then he goes, and then around the long swooping right-hander now then he will go, as he will now make his way towards these sequence of corners. A very fast flowing sequence of corners here at the Dubai Autodrome, fast and flowing. No real Mickey Mouse chicanes here at Dubai. It's an all nice and flowing track, it's fair to say, and with a bit of elevation as well, which is good to see. So in the middle, in the first sector, he's down on his personal best, so at the moment Aviard not looking at an improvement at the moment as he makes his way out of that left-hander before making his way onto the back straight now then, where we'll probably see most of the overtakes being done in the race. But Aviard now then down the back straight before approaching the right-hander on the racetrack now then. And let's see what he's able to do once he comes up towards the end of the middle sector, which is obviously after the right-hander. Not this right-hander, of course, but the next right-hander on the racetrack, as Aviard through the left-hander, using a bit of curb on the inside and a lot out of it as well before he makes his way towards the next right-hander on the racetrack as he flicks the car in through that right-hander now then, as he now approaches the end of the second sector now then. And let's see if he's found anything. Nope, he's still down on his personal best in that middle sector now then in the Porsche by 2/10 in fact. So he's not too far off, but he's still 2.2 seconds off of Ticelli in that middle sector now then. So Aviard coming around the left-hander now then, as Aviard now then will approach the final couple of corners on the racetrack now then before he approaches the final corner, as Aviard now then comes around the final corner and onto the pit straight will go the Porsche driver, making his way onto the pit straight. And Aviard now then across the line he goes, and he goes 20th. In fact, he found some time in the last sector, of course, because he got held up by Kwan, of course, but he's only gone up into 20th on that occasion. Here comes Bella Neuville in the Neo now then. She's currently in 16th place ahead of the championship leader Stepniczka, who is out on the racetrack as we speak. So that's that really, but Neuville not up on her personal best at the moment as she now makes her way towards the final corner on the racetrack, as we have just under 5 minutes to go in this session, as now Neuville onto the pit straight and the Belgian driver comes across the line now then, and she does not improve, stays in 16th position. Here's Ross Denholm meanwhile, Ticelli's teammate, as Denholm comes around the final turn. Denholm is currently, where is he at the moment? 8th place at the moment, as he does not improve and stays P8 for the time being. Cesar Cohen Jr. currently up on his personal best, currently on the back row of the grid at the moment with Jacob Tobler. So let's see what Cohen is able to do in that Mahindra as he comes out of the final corner and onto the pit straight now then will go Cesar Cohen Jr. as he now crosses the line and he does not improve, stays where he is. Jaswant Kumar onto the pit straight he will go, as Kumar now then comes across the line and he does not improve, he stays where he is, which is P7 at the moment. Here comes Bartosz Bracchi in the Venturi. He comes around the final turn himself, and let's see what he's able to do. Bracchi now then onto the pit straight and across the line he will go, and he does not improve. Here comes Stepniczka, who is up on his personal best, and he needs to really because he's down in 17th position. So Stepniczka now then making his way into the final corner and onto the pit straight he will soon approach now then. So Stepniczka down the pit straight and across the line now then he will go. What can he be able to do? And he goes up into 5th, splits the two Audi drivers. So Stepniczka goes up into P5 behind Robert Ionescu. Coach Unchiog, no improvement for him. He stays where he is, which is P13, unlucky for some. But anyway, as Daniel Adventure now then comes out of the final turn and onto the pit straight goes the German driver. He's currently in P3 at the moment behind teammate Razin, but no improvement, he stays P3. Cass Morgan up on his personal best, currently P19 at the moment in the Mahindra. Let's see what the Group 3 Mahindra car can do now then as he makes his way into the final corner and onto the pit straight now then we will go, as Cass Morgan now then comes across the line and he does not improve. Well, in fact, he does improve. In fact, I do apologise. He goes up into 16th position. But anyways, Ticelli now then, the current pole setter, comes across the line. He doesn't improve and stays on a 45.4 at this stage. Owen Carpenter now then making his way into the final corner. He will soon approach. And let's see what the Irishman is able to do. He's down on his personal best as Carpenter now then comes across the line. No improvement, stays in 10th position. And I think that's everybody done with. Now, is that the session done with, of course, because he's still got just over 2 minutes to go. Is anybody going to go out and do one more flying lap before the session comes to a close? Or is it going to be pole position for Dominic Ticelli? Let's wait and see as we wait for the seconds to tick down. If it goes by the 1 minute 45 mark, then that will be that, really. Nobody else will be able to go out onto the racetrack. Choi dropped down to 15th, of course, after her mechanical issues from a little bit earlier on, as the seconds continue to tick down, as Cohen now gets wheeled back into the garage now then. But yeah, that's that. 48, 47, 46, 45. Nope, that is it. Nobody else is able to go out, so that means that Dominic Ticelli has taken pole position for the Dubai ePrix. And the question is, will he be able to bounce back from what happened at Mazzano last week?
Well, we're about to find out real soon during the race then. And I also praying for the train not to crash, please.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, of course. But yeah, Decelli looking to bounce back after he was possibly cruelly robbed of a race-winning potential at Mazzano last week. Of course, it happened in the early stages, so we don't know if it was going to be like that when we got to the end of the race. But given the performance he was able to show in the early stages of that race, I think it's safe to say that Decelli could have had a shot at the victory last time out at Mazzano. But he'd be looking to bounce back here at Dubai Autodrome as Carpenter now then making his way into the final couple of corners. We will go now then. Carpenter now then through the penultimate turn as he heads back into the pits. Koenig out there just to get some mileage in that Andretti, but it's not going to matter too much because he's obviously not going to be able to do a lap. Koenig will start in 12th for the race ahead of Coach Chun Cheong. In fact, the top 12 separated by just under a second. As the whole pack separated by 3.6 seconds by the end of this qualifying session. 30 seconds to go, and we just wait for the seconds to tick down before we can then head back onto the menus and then read off the results. But did you enjoy that then, your first commentary, Ian?
Yeah, at first I was very nervous when doing the commentary for the first time. But right now I still kind of nervous about that.
Yes,
Maybe
indeed. Maybe some
maybe
point in the
I wasn't got any experience on the simulator. Instead I think I'm commentating back on the I think like another game, but it's not here in GP4.
Okay. But anyway, that is qualifying done with, and it is Decelli on pole. So let's read out the results then. It is Dominic Decelli on pole position with Mohamed Razan in second. Daniel Adventure will start in third with Robert Ionescu fourth. Jacob Stepniczka is fifth with Brandon Jackson in sixth. Kochi Cheong is in seventh with Jaswant Kumar eighth. Ross Denholm in ninth. Then it is Owen Carpenter in 10th. Raphael Demel 11th with Marvo Koenig 12th. Coach Chun Cheong in 13th. Bartosz Braki 14th. Sona Choi, thanks to that mechanical problem, will start in 15th with Cass Morgan in 16th. Hoang Min Nguyen in 17th. With Bella Neuville 18th, Nguyen Min Kwan 19th, Leighton Aviard 20th, Cesar Cohen Jr. in 21st, and Jacob Tobler rounds off the grid, the only driver to be over 3 seconds off the pace. Well, we're going to take a brief pause for the moment. Of course, we'll obviously switch over the commentary, of course, because, of course, Hyan is obviously only doing the qualifying. Kurisu will be here for the race. But in the meantime, I'm just going to get the tweet prepared for Twitter and also get the criteria and champion graphics prepared for Yuri, of course, because, of course, there is a chance that the championship could get wrapped up. So stick around, guys. The race will be coming up very, very shortly.
Adios, guys.
Hey, I'm back. Kurisu's trying to load up her Discord at the moment, so yeah, that's that. So whilst we wait for Kurisu and of course Yui to sort out the grid, obviously, might as well show you the criteria on the screen. So as you can see, you've got it on the screen right now. So this is what Stepniczka needs to do to try and win the championship this week. So he needs to A, outscore Kumar by 18 points, B, outscore Denholm by 17 points, but if Denholm wins the race, if Stepniczka doesn't win the race, then he has to outscore Denholm by 18, because there is a chance that Denholm can still outscore him by a victory, of course, can still outdo him on victory. He needs to outscore Jackson by 5 points, or in the case of if he doesn't win, then it has to be 6 points, of course. Outscore Adventure by only 1 point, but 2 if Stepniczka doesn't win, and outscore Ionescu by 1 point. In terms of what he can afford to do, he can afford to lose 15 points to Razin, but if Razin wins the race, he needs to only drop 14 points off of him. He can afford to lose 20 points to Chue, but 19 if Chue wins, 25 to Decelli, but 24 if Decelli wins, and he can afford to lose 29 points to Kochon Cheong, but 28 if Kochon wins. So that's the criteria right there, and well, it should be quite an interesting one indeed. Will Stepniczka win the championship? Can Jaguar wrap up the team's title? Of course, for the team's championship, I will of course update you throughout the entirety of the race. So bear in mind of that. Going into the race, of course, Jaguar have if I do the maths, 45, 55, 65, 75. They have a 42-point lead ahead of Audi in the team's championship. Of course, the maximum a team can get per weekend is 48 points, so there is a good chance Jaguar could win the championship here if they score 7 more points, I believe it is, if my maths are correct. Yeah, 7 more points. If they score 7 more points than Audi today, then they will win the team's championship. So that's that then. Okay, so Kurisu has said that she will join in as soon as the PC boots up Discord, of course. So that's that really. Yeah, that's that really. So we'll have to wait on that really. So yeah, we're just now having to wait for the grid, but that is the criteria that you can see. So and that's that really. But yeah, that's the criteria, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens really. So yeah, that's that really, and just waiting for the grid to be set up, of course, and then we can get underway for the Dubai ePrix at the Dubai Autodrome. Okay, fair enough. Obviously, I have sent you the graphics over as well, because of course, in case Stepniczka and Jaguar win either championship today. So that's pretty much that really, and so that's pretty much that really, and yeah, it should be quite an interesting race indeed. Of course, Stepniczka starts in 5th place. Of course, we'll obviously go through the grid as soon as we're onto the game, of course, and so that's that really. But it should be a good race. I mean, it usually does produce a good race here at Dubai, as we've seen for the last 2 seasons. It's usually been a race that has had some championship implications. I mean, in 2020, of course, the championship was wrapped up here because, of course, Alexander Arnold crashed out in the early stages after rejoining dangerously into the path of another car, which led to Agatina Bavona winning the championship at the penultimate race. And we also had as well last season, whilst the championship was not wrapped up here, we did have a bit of a championship implication for Santino Andreoli, because he was looking like he was going to have quite a comfortable lead going into the finale, but after a crash at the first corner after the mandatory pit stop stages of the race, it kind of brought the championship back into Michael Mocho's hands, who was pretty much in striking distance of Andreoli going into that final race. And in the end, of course, as we know, Mocho ended up going on to take the championship in at the end, as my dog for some reason is scratching the door again. So yeah, that's pretty much that really. But yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting one, and hopefully should be quite an interest. I can't remember how many laps it is, of course, though, for Dubai, so I'll have to wait and see really. But yeah, could be interesting indeed. But of course, obviously we have Decelli on pole, who is obviously determined to try and get the lead back. Of course, Kurisu will join us as soon as her Discord loads up. But for the meantime, you'll just have me for the moment. Of course, I'll know when Kurisu is in when I hear a little note, like a little alert in my ear. But anyway. Let's get on with this then, shall we? For 34 laps of action here at the Dubai Autodrome now. It's a 34 laps of action coming up. So, on pole position, it is Dominic Decelli for the second time this season in the Nissan, with Mohamed Razan in second position. Daniel Adventure in the second Mercedes starts in third, with Robert Ionescu in fourth position. On row 3 on the grid, as I think Yuri is having to type something in, as Yuri's actually put his mic on just in case. We have Jacob Stepniczka, who has a chance of winning the championship today, with Brandon Jackson in 6th. Kochi Cheong starts in 7th, with Jaswant Kumar in 8th. Ross Denholm with a bit to do if he wants to save his championship aspirations in 9th, with Owen Carpenter in 10th. Rafael Damal starts in 11th, with Marvo Koenig in 12th. Kochon Cheong is in 13th, with Barges Brackie 14th, so the two Venturis locking out the 7th row of the grid. Sana Choi, thanks to issues in qualifying, starts in 15th, with Cass Morgan in 16th. Hoemin Nguyen starts in 17th, with Bella Nuaville in 18th. Then it is Nguyen Min Kwan, who will start in 19th, with Leighton Aviard in 20th. And on the back row of the grid, it is Cesar Cohen Jr. for Mahindra and Jacob Tobler in 22nd and last for Neo. And the weather here at Dubai, as per usual, no rain expected. It is to be expected with the Middle Eastern races. But without further ado, let us get on with the Dubai ePrix. Can Jacob Stepniczka wrap up the championship? Can Jaguar wrap up the team's championship? Or will they both go down to the finale at the outer layout of Bahrain? It will be very interesting indeed as we wait to get onto the grid for the start of the Dubai ePrix here at the Dubai Autodrome. So here we are then on the grid then for 34 laps of action. Decelli is on the right of your screens. Razan is on the left. Who is going to get the lead into the first corner as we wait for the 5 red lights to go off to signify the start of the Dubai ePrix. 2 lights are on, 3 lights are on, 4 lights are on, and now we have 5 lights on here in Dubai, and it is lights out, and away we go here at the Dubai Autodrome. Who is going to get the lead into the first corner? As it looks like they go a little bit too cautiously off the line landing, but a good start from Adventure. He looks like he's trying to get the jump of Razin. He's already got the jump, and he looks like he's going to try and get the jump of Decelli into the first corner. Adventure on the inside of Dominic Decelli into the first corner, but no, Decelli holds on for the moment, and this keeps the lead for the Mercedes. A good start. That's Stepniczka, isn't it? That's gone up into third place, and it is a great start for the championship leader. Stepniczka up into third place. He's right behind Daniel Adventure as he tries to get a hold of the top 2. He tries to go around the outside of Adventure there. Not going to happen, but a fantastic start for the championship leader. Great start for him. A great start for Ionescu. Not the best of starts for Ionescu. He's dropped to place, but an amazing start for Stepniczka, as I think finally Kurisu has now joined us on the commentary from the alert I can hear in my ear. But yeah, are you there now, Kurisu?
Finally.
Finally, he's normally the headphones give a little bit of a clue there when Kurisu is here. But welcome to the stream. You've only just started the race. We're going to go 3 wide, heading down into the hairpin as Stepniczka tries to go for the lead. He's got second. Has he got the lead as well? Heading into the hairpin, and yes, he has. Stepniczka takes the lead of the race. What a start for the championship leader. He is determined to wrap up the championship. As Decelli goes wide, coming out the exit. Adventure trying to go around the outside, around that left-hander, but it's not going to work out. And Stepniczka gets away as a result of that mistake from Decelli.
Yes, indeed. It looks like we have a move here.
Ionescu up into 4th place. He's regained the place on the stars. It looks like one of the Andretti's. He's also trying to find a way through on that Mercedes of Razin, who's dropped back from 2nd place, but unable to do so. That's Kochi Cheon trying to go for the move there. Kumar, meanwhile, in 8th place, is trying to go on the inside there of, that's Ross Denholm, the man he's tied with for second in the championship. It's Kochon trying to go for a risky move there into the hairpin. Not been a great start for Jackson, meanwhile. He's down to 10th for the start, so not exactly the start that he would have wanted.
No.
Definitely not indeed, as now they come around the final corner. Ionescu trying to get the podium place off of Adventure heading into the first corner, but at the end of the first lap is Stepniczka who leads the race from, that's Decelli in second. Adventure third, but it might not be for too long because Ionescu now on the inside of Adventure. It looks like he's got the straight line speed to match it. Kochi Cheong on the inside of Razin, meanwhile in the background, but Ionescu on the inside, and he takes third place from Adventure. Great start from Ionescu in this race.
Indeed.
As meanwhile, Kochi has got up into 5th place, got the move done on Mohamed Razan, who's now having to fend off. But in fact, that's Kumar getting by on Deno. He looks like he's having to fend off on the 2 guys who are currently tied for second in the Drivers' Championship, just trying to figure out what this would mean for the championship. As I'm looking at the moment, because Stepniczka is obviously on. I'm not sure he's got the fastest lap at the moment. In fact, we'll obviously check on that after the second lap. But Ionescu is not finished yet. He's now trying to find a way through on Dominic Decelli.
Yep, indeed. It'll be interesting to see if he can get the overtake down quickly.
To go side by side, heading down the back straight. Kochi Chion, meanwhile, trying to look on the outside of that is, I think that's Daniel Adventure trying to look at, but now Ionescu around the outside he goes, and just as we saw with Jackson in qualifying, he takes advantage of the straight line speed, and he's up into second place.
Yep, indeed. As Denholm was going for the move past Kamar, he's got him.
Move indeed there as my dog decides to push the door open.
Well, hold on a second. Kamar's taking the place back.
Looks like they're trying to switch places there. My dog just decided to help herself inside there, so I apologise for that as she opened the door there. But Jackson's up to 9, Carpenter up to 10. Looked like that Venturi there got a little bit mugged going into that right-hander. But meanwhile, looks like Adventure has got Kochi Chiong all over the back. And, well, that's pretty much that, really. So now make their way onto the straight. And, yeah, Yuri's saying... nobody can stop the dog commentator from getting in. So yeah, she's in
indeed.
for the moment because I think the Hoover's gone off in the house. So
Looks like the chili's not finished.
Indeed. So Decelli's still keeping up, but he looks like he's not close enough to get Ionescu on that occasion. Stepniczka has the fastest lap of the race. Is anybody going to try and beat that? Ionescu sets it this time by. So Ionescu currently holding on to the 2 bonus points for the fastest lap of the race. Meanwhile, Kumar on the inside of Razin, heading down towards the first corner. It looked like for a minute Razin was trying to fend up. Meanwhile, Kochi being shoved to the end. Jeong there being shoved to the inside, but Adventure holds on, and Razin holds on to it for the moment. From that was Kumar there, as meanwhile Carpenter takes 9th there from Jackson. So Jackson losing a place. And meanwhile,
John goes for the move around the outside.
He pulled the move off. He's down the inside into the left-hander, but can't make his stick. Adventure once again holding on to the place for the moment. But I'm just trying to check in terms of the championship because the Ionescu currently holds on to the fastest lap. So at the moment, Stepniczka is currently on 25 points at this stage. If it were to stay like this at the moment, just looking around the field at the moment, if it were to stay like this with Kumar currently in 7th place on 6 points at the moment, and I think you are correct there. Yes, I think at the moment Stepniczka will win the championship if it stays like this. In terms of the team's championship, I think at the moment Jaguar will win that as well if it was to stay like this. So it could be a double celebration there as Kochi finally takes 4th place from Adventure after being stuck behind him for quite a while.
Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, the Chelly is still holding on to 3rd. He seems to have a not so bad pace.
Yep, so it seems he's starting to get up to speed. It seems to Mal. Meanwhile, let's push Jackson outside of the points. Meanwhile, so Jackson is now down into 11th. He seems to be struggling so far on this stint, is Jackson.
Yeah, indeed.
As we ride on board with Robbie Ionescu, who's trying to close the gap down onto Stepniczka in front. Meanwhile, Kumar looking to the inside of Razin, but again, can't find a way through. Meanwhile, Adventure is not giving up yet on Kochi Cheong as they make their way up the hill towards the final couple of corners. On that racetrack we go, as Adventure now, they're making his way through into the final 2 corners we go now on the racetrack, as he will now see if he can try and find a way through on the Andretti coming around the final corner. Let's see if he's close enough to go for it this time by, as Stepniczka starts lap 4 of the race, and well, he's in the slipstream. I think he might have a go here, but let's wait and see.
It'll be interesting. Is he close enough to go for the move here? I'm not sure, but he's gonna go for it nevertheless. Is this the place?
He's on the inside. Kochi didn't put up too much of the defense, and Adventure reclaims the place and up into 4th place as Razin is holding up a huge train of cars at the moment in the fight for 6th place at this stage.
Indeed.
There's now Kumar trying to go around the outside of Razin now. Can he pull the move off into the left-hander? No, he can't. As Denholm also at the same time trying to fend off him. I think that's Owen Carpenter that's right behind. So this train of cars could get even bigger and bigger if Razin keeps holding these guys up for too much longer.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Jackson has lost another place. He's down to 12.
He's really struggling at the moment. I'm not sure what exactly is going on in Jackson's car because his teammate is currently flying at the moment, but he seems to be struggling at the moment. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with Jackson's car. But meanwhile, back to this battle for what is 7th place. It's side-by-side action going on down the straight as Kumar's on the inside of Razin. Carpenter on the inside of that is Denholm, and he gets the place done. But Kumar still not be able to get it unless he can get Razin on the exit, but he can't. So only 1 place really gained from that scrap.
Indeed, quite an interesting battle we got right here, as Chunk has a little bit of understeer here, but nothing major.
Well, it looks like Adventure is closing in onto the back of that is Decelli, so Decelli might actually have some pressure soon from Daniel Adventure's Mercedes as Ionescu pulls away from that group as he tries to chase down Stepniczka at the front of the field. But anyway, as they now make their way through into that left-hander now then, as I think Yuri's just coughing at the moment. He's got a little bit of he's got a little bit of a cold at the moment, I think, so you can forgive him for that one. But anyway, as now coming around the Okay, well, we could still hear it anyway. But anyway, as now coming down onto the straight now, meanwhile we could see that's the adventure now. They're on the inside of Dominic DiCelli now. They're to make their way down towards the first corner. Can he get the P3 of the Italian drivers that go side by side, heading into the first corner, and Adventure gets back onto the podium.
Indeed.
Kumar still not been able to find a way from Razan. Razan clearly being a headache for the Jaguar driver. And now Brack is involved in this train now then, as he's obviously now into the points. Whilst all that's been going on, as the Polish driver tries to see if he can find a way through on Denholm there. As, excuse me, as now Kumar trying to find a way through on Razan again. But again, the Indonesian driver pretty much holding up his own version of the Truly train, it's fair to say.
Indeed.
4.2 seconds, meanwhile the gap between the top two, 2.7 between Ionescu and Adventure, as meanwhile Coaches now, it's going to be his turn I think to try and catch up onto the back of Dominic DiCelli. Meanwhile once again Kumar looking to the outside of Razin, but again it's not going to work out. Is he going to try again onto the inside? He tries to fake it to the left, go to the right. Can he break that a little bit later? No, he can't. And once again Razin holds up this train of cars as Kwan now has a go at Jackson into the hairpin, but can't find a way through as Koenig takes 15th there. From that is I think Coach Chun Cheong there.
Yep. As Javier tries to go for the move but can't make it work.
Nobler meanwhile has got by there on the other Mahindra there, so in their fight for last place, and Morgan now down to last place as we speak. 4.3 the gap between the top two as Ionescu continues to pull away from Adventure. It's now up to 3 seconds between those two at the moment, but not really making too many inroads on Stepniczka at this stage. As now
he's losing time actually.
Yeah, indeed, as now we look as Kochi, meanwhile, is 6 tenths now behind DiCelli in their fight for what is 4th position, as they now go up the hill towards the final couple of the corners. We will go on the racetrack now then, as we now look at Adventure, who's got a bit of a gap now to DiCelli over a second now, as now Kumar once again, can he get the move done this time on Razan, or is it just going to be a repeat of what we've seen in the previous few laps?
It should be interesting. Let's see. He's got the inside line and he can't do anything.
Bracky can do something about Denholm, and he's up into 9th as it looks like Jackson's going to lose yet another place, this time to Nguyen Minh Quan, and Jackson once again dropping backwards through the field. What is going on with him today?
Interesting.
And, well, this is definitely not going to help his championship aspirations. Of course, as we know at the moment, if it were to stay like this, then Stepniczka wins the championship. His tray goes wide into the door hand, and we saw Arnold go wide in.
That's a dangerous rejoin. She's taken Chung out.
He's done the same thing as what Arnold did a couple of seasons ago, and that should be a slam dunk penalty, I think, for Trey, rejoining dangerously into the path of Coach Chun Cheong there, and both of them are out of the race.
Yep, indeed, that's it.
And, well, that should, in theory, that should be confirmed there by Yuri. A 10-play squid penalty for Sarna's Trey for rejoining dangerously into the path of Coach Chun Cheong, and, well, no real excuses, really. That is a deserved penalty there.
Indeed. What else can I say?
And she will, of course, have to serve that at the finale at the Manamar ePrix at the outer.
Was that an overtake under yellows? No, I don't think it was.
No, because he was going at they were not going at normal speeds anyway, so it wouldn't count as a yellow flag overtake. So that's that really. As now we look at Kumar, who still can't find a way through on Mohamed Razan as they now make their way through into the right-hander.
What position does Kumar need to stay in the championship hunt?
Well, he's currently, Stepniczka currently leading the race. He is coming into this race, of course. He is 13 points behind, so he really needs to get, well, given that he's got obviously a win this season, he'd effectively, in fact, I'm trying to figure out, because how many second places Stepniczka has had. He even needs to get 4th or 3rd position, I think, but I'll need to double check that.
That's a lot.
Because obviously he currently just trying to see in terms of second places between Stepniczka and Kumar this season, and so far Kumar has had 2 second places. Stepniczka has had also 2 second places. Hold the fort for the moment because Kumar once again attacking Razan into the first corner, and finally he gets the move done. So finally Kumar up into 6th as Bracky overtakes Carpenter there for 8th.
Next target for him is Chung.
Indeed, as Bracky around the outside he goes, takes full advantage there, and he takes 7th place from Razin. Razin just didn't have the traction coming out of turn 2 there.
That was brilliant.
Brilliant move there from the Polish drivers. Now Carpenter will now try to attack Razin for 8th position. And here is a replay of that. A brilliant move there for the Polish driver to get up into 7th position, as now he'll try and also gain onto Kumar in front. But back to that point that I was talking about there. So they've obviously, Kumar has had a victory, of course, as has Stepniczka. They both had 2 second places this season. Stepniczka has had a 3rd though. So if it were to stay like this, then I think Kumar will need to get, I think, 3rd position if he wants to keep his title hopes alive. 4th place would not be enough because of that 3rd place that Stepniczka has got in the races. Denholm, meanwhile, has now overtaken Carpenter for P9, or was that? No, that was Denholm taking the place there. So he's now up into 9th position. So yeah, Kumar needs to get himself up into 3rd, otherwise he can wave goodbye to any chance of winning the championship.
Indeed, and I think he might have the pace. He's not that far behind.
We'll have to wait and see, as now we look at Adventure, who's currently holding on to 3rd place. As Kochi Cheong, who's been stuck behind Decelli for a while, is still trying to find a way through on the Nissan Driver 4th place. And it just seems like Decelli might not have the, bit like what we saw with Razin last time out at Mazzano, just doesn't seem to have the race pace at the moment.
No.
As he now makes his way
I want to
into
see the fuel loads for the top 5. It'll be interesting.
17.4 is on Kochi Cheong, but hold the fort for the moment because he's now going to have a go at Decelli for 4th position. He's now onto the inside line. Can he finally get 4th place off the Italian as they go side by side down towards the first corner? He's already got the overlap, and Kochi is up into 4th place.
Indeed.
As now Kumar will try and catch up. Meanwhile, Razin and Denholm fighting it out for 8th position, but Razin holds on to the place for the moment. As now Carpenter and Duhamel have also got themselves involved, but not able to make any places at the moment. As we look back now at Adventure, who's got a 2.1 second cushion over Kochi as things stand. It looked like Nguyen there had a bit of a moment going through into turn 2.
Yep.
That was because he'd actually just been overtaken there by Neuville, who went up into 15th and gone on the curb a little bit too much there and unsettled there. As Stepniczka now has a 5.6 second lead over Ionescu at the moment, so it just seems like those two are running a little bit lonely at the moment in those places. You could say the same for Adventure as well.
Let's check the fuel loads again because we were on that thought.
Yep, as in fact, it seems we need to hold that fort again because Denholm now, they're trying to find a way through around the outside. He needs to be careful because Carpenter is right there for the taking, and while he wasn't careful enough, Carpenter goes through. Can he also get Razin at the same time? No, he can't. Razin closes the door and he holds on to 8th place, but Carpenter taking full advantage of that and gets up into 9th position. So what is the fuel loads this time by now then, now that we've got a little bit of an opening there? I mean, I know there's a battle towards the back of the field, but yeah, that's that. So 15.5 for Stepniczka is what he's currently on. 12.6 for Ionescu, made that 12.5 now. 16.6 for Adventure, meanwhile. 16.6 also for Kochi, so he's on the same strategy as Adventure. 15.6 for Decelli. 15.7 for Kumar, who's just behind at this stage as well. So that's what the top 6 are currently running on at the moment.
Interesting. I think the undercut could be pretty strong today. Tire wear is quite big. We haven't seen any fastest laps ever since lap 2.
Yep, as now we can see Kumar is now going to attack Decelli now. He's already trying to go alongside him at the corner, but had to tuck back in the slipstream. Goes now to the inside of the Nissan Driver, but is he close enough to try and get the overlap on the Italian? He's not quite alongside him just yet, but can he possibly try and break that a little bit later into the first corner? Down into turn 1 we go. No, they can't. Decelli once again holds on to 5th place.
Here goes Carpenter.
And see if he can grab 8th there from Razin. Not going to work out. Denholm right behind as well. Same for Raphael Duhamel as well, who's looking to try and get himself into the points now that he's the only Envision Virgin Racing car left in the field. 6 seconds now Stepniczka has got ahead of Robert Ionescu at the moment as they now make their way through into the double right-hander on the racetrack now then.
This guy is too OP.
Well, this season he's been he's been pretty unlucky this season. It just seems now that since Mazzano things have now come together as well. It looked like Carpenter there was trying to go for a move into the left-hander there. Neuville, meanwhile, unseen by the cameras, has just overtaken Koenig for 14th place. Meanwhile, just in front, Kumar looking to the outside of Decelli, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it. No, he's not. Decelli closes the door there, but it looks like we're going to have 3 wide heading into the hairpin. We saw this on the first lap with Stepniczka. Is Denholm going to repeat this? He's already got through on Carpenter. Is he also going to claim the place off Razin? And he has done indeed. So pretty much a replica of what we saw with Stepniczka on the first lap, but Denholm is up into 8th.
Yep, indeed. Meanwhile, the gap between the top 2 has cut down a little bit, but now it's gone up again.
It seems like it's now probably stabilised a little bit in the top 2 as now Tobler looking to the inside of the Mahindra here with Cohen, but he can't make it stick. Meanwhile, the other Mahindra trying to find a way through on the Porsche of Aviard there out of the corner, but can't make it stick. Of course, there's the fight to stay out of last place. Now, of course, we've had 2 retirements in this race coming from the form of Koch Chun Cheong and, of course, Sana Chui. So, That's pretty much that, really, as we are now making their way through into the final corner on the racetrack. As looked like a little bit of a shaky moment there from Adventure, who's got a 2.1 second cushion. That gap has sort of stabilised between those two for a while, so not really much is happening in that fight for third place, as Cohen's still trying to fend off from Jacob Tobler. Of course, Tobler used to drive that. In fact, he might actually go for it already here. He left the door wide open there, did Morgan, Cohen, and Tobler says, thank you very much, I'll take 17th of ease there. That was a little bit of a clumsy error there from Cohen.
That was interesting. He's gone a little deep there.
Yeah, waited. In fact, you can see there, a lot of understeer there from the Mahindra, and Tobler said, well, you've left the door open, I'll just take that invitation with great pride there, as he now gets up into 17th. But Cohen may want to try and get him back onto the pit straight, but I don't think he's had the traction there compared to Tobler. In fact, he's going to have the Porsche of Aviar to deal with very, very soon as they make their way onto the straight. In fact, both of them have slipstream. In fact, it's going to be 3 wide into the first corner here. This is going to be very, very tight towards the back of the field, but it looks like Cohen's going to reclaim the place. Oh, that was close to contact there with Tobler, but he reclaimed 17th there, and well, thankfully, nothing major happened in the first corner there, as Kumar has still not been able to find a way through onto Chelly at the moment.
Nope.
As they now make their way towards that hairpin, trying to flick it back to the inside of the Nissan driver. Is he going to try and have a go? No, again, Ticelli doing a good job keeping the Jaguar driving back for the moment. But at the same time, they're also keeping up with Kochi Cheong at the moment. So they're not too far behind the Andretti driver, who's currently in 4th in this race at the moment, as we're now about to start lap 11 of the race very soon, as the race leader's just coming up towards that long left-hander where we saw Morgan miss the apex. As meanwhile, it was Cohen, in fact. I get the two Mahindras mixed up, but Morgan on the inside now then of Tobler, trying to look onto the inside, and it looks like he's going to get the move done. So Tobler, after he got 70th earlier on, in the space of about a lap, has already dropped back down to the back.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Stepniczka across the line to start lap 11 of the race now then, as he continues to pull away as Cohen. Oh, a lock up there from the Dominican Republic driver there, as Dominican driver there, as but luckily for him, he didn't lose a place, although Aviar could be there to try and pounce. That wouldn't have done his tyres any good, though.
No, definitely not. Meanwhile, Aviar tries to go for the move into the left-hander, but that was never going to happen. Just didn't have the grip.
Oh, and unlike previously, Cohen doesn't miss the apex going through into that part of the track. We ride on board with Razan, who's all the way down in 10th after starting on the front row. So once again, like we saw at Mazan, in fact, he's going to lose another place because Demel has got up into 10th place there. So after starting on the front row, Razan, he's already outside the points. Kumar's finally got by Ticelli. So Kumar finally up into 5th place. He's got the move done, and now Bracchi wants to have a go at Ticelli.
Kumar is just 2 places away from safety.
Safety to keep his championship hopes alive against Stepniczka, as now coming around the next section of corners now. Then we will go on the racetrack as now through the left-hander. Then is Bracchi going to try and attack Ticelli onto the back straight. Looks like the top 2 in qualifying are just struggling for pace so far at this stint, as now Bracchi looking to the outside of Dominic Ticelli, but not close enough to go for the move yet, as he'll look to actually try and go for it on the inside. Ticelli already going defensive through into that part, but Ticelli holds on.
Just close the door.
That's closed the door there, but Bracchi's definitely going to be putting pressure on him down the pit straight, that is for sure.
Indeed. Meanwhile, the tower appears to be pretty big at the moment.
Yep, indeed. The top 3 seem to have separated themselves from the rest of the field, as Adventure's now got it up to 2 seconds between himself and Kochi Cheong. Meanwhile, in fact, I think it's stabilised, in fact, hasn't it? In fact, it's now got up to 2.2. Meanwhile, Morgan attacking, this is Aviard for 18th place now, as he looks to the inside, heading into that hairpin. It looks like he's already got the overlap for that hairpin, and he gets up into 18th place, and the Mahindras have passed the Porsche and the Neo.
Yep, indeed, as Adventure is currently 5 seconds off of P2, so I think he's going to have to sell for third in this race.
We'll have to wait and see. It depends really on what happens. We're still yet to get to the mandatory pit stop stage of the race, though, so that could still change things. Remember, of course, last season as well, when it came to a championship as well involving Andrioli, he had a chance to possibly win the championship at Dubai, but he kind of let it go, really, at that first corner that Bracchi's trying to overtake Ticelli at as they go side by side into the first corner. I think it was actually Ticelli, the guy he made contact with in the first corner, in fact. But Bracchi now onto the inside.
I think.
And Bracchi is now up to 6th. I do believe it was a Nissan he collided with into the first corner, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But either way, Bracchi is up into 6th, and he's so far having another good race in that Venturi.
Yes, indeed.
Meanwhile, Kwan, in fact, he's trying to find a way through. In fact, he's in a bit of a sandwich at the moment involving Group 1 cars who are clearly struggling in this race. As Jackson tries to find a way through Kwan again for 12th, but still can't find a way through. Jackson clearly struggling in this race here at Dubai. And, well, really struggling to find a way through at the moment as it looked like Kwan was trying to have a go at Razin into the first corner there. Meanwhile,
just like Ionesco last season here, appears the Audi has no pace.
But it seems that the other Audi seems to have more pace. Meanwhile, Kumar has already caught up to the back of Kochi Chiro. It looks like he's going to get 4th place here with ease as he goes onto the inside and he's up into 4th position. So the gap at the moment will be between Kumar and Stepnichka in the championship, with Ionescu currently holding on to the fastest lap of the race at this stage. Will be up to, I think, no, in fact, it will be... In fact, it'll be 26 points, in fact. So, in fact, he's already in safety. So, I kind of got that one wrong there. I apologise. So, he's in safety at the moment. So, if it stays like this, Stepnichka will not win the championship.
Yeah, but Kumar is going to need bonus points next time.
Indeed. So he's going to need quite a bit of luck. But so far he is in safety and preventing his teammate from winning the championship if it does stay like this. But at the moment, Jaguar will indeed win the team's championship if it does stay like this, ending Audi's reign that they've had for the last 2 seasons. So that's that then. As in fact, unseen by the cameras, Jackson has actually found the way through on Carpenter. So he's not, Kwan, So he's up into 12th position now, and he'll now want to try and have a go at Razan if he can for P number 11. As Brackie now will try and close up onto the fellow Group 2 car in front of that is Kochi Cheong. So that looks like those two could be fighting for 5th in just a little bit as Kumar now tries to pull away from the Andretti in front.
He's 3 seconds down on Adventure. I wonder if he can catch him.
Perhaps indeed, but I'll tell you at the moment who will be out of the championship fight if it does stay like this. So speaking of people close to Stepnichka, Denholm at the moment, because at the moment Ross Denholm is currently, where is he at the moment? He's just on the brink of, he's only in the lower reaches of the top 10, isn't he? So if it does stay like this, Denholm will be out of the championship fight if it does stay like this. It could be a situation here where we could end up seeing just the 2 Jaguar drivers fighting it out for the championship in the final race. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But meanwhile, back to the back of the field, this is Tobler trying to have a go at Cohen there, but it's not going to work out. And looked like he had a bit of oversteer there going through into the first corner. But yeah, that's pretty much that really. 2.8 seconds the gap between Adventure and Kumar. So that's a gap I'll be curious to see what goes on there, to see whether Kumar can catch up or not. Meanwhile, Kwan on the inside of Razzie, meanwhile. In fact, on seen by the cameras, he's re-overtaken Jackson somewhere. And now he looks like he's going to claim P11 from Razin. And he does indeed. So once again, Razin dropping backwards in this race.
Yep.
As meanwhile, Dechelli might actually have Denholm to deal with. I wonder if maybe there could be some team orders at Nissan quite soon, given Denholm is closer to Stepnichka in the championship than what Dechelli is, of course, despite the fact that Dechelli took pole position. But yeah, at the moment, Denholm will be out of the championship fight if it does stay like this. As meanwhile, just in front, I'm just looking at that battle. There's happening a crash! A crash at the hairpin there between Morgan and Aviard. And, well, Morgan is out of the race. Not sure if Aviard's got damage or not. But I don't know who to blame, really, on this instance. Was Aviard being a little bit too ambitious? And, well, I think he was.
Went for a gap that wasn't there.
He's got damage as a result, so it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up with a time penalty for that. Because, yeah, I think that was a little bit too ambitious there for the Porsche driver. And, well, that's...
He should have known when to back out.
Yep, and clearly he did not know that, so I think that might be a penalty coming to Aviard's way. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, as confirmation by Yuri, 10-second time penalty for Leighton Aviard, but he has said if that incident does repeat itself in this race, then it will be rescinded. But as things stand, Aviard does have a 10-second time penalty. Meanwhile, we have a fight for 5th now going on between Kochi Cheong and Brackie. Brackie already thought about a move into the first corner, so yellow flags quickly get lifted down into that hairpin. But Brackie now trying to put Kochi Cheong under pressure in the fight for 5th position.
Yeah, Brackie appears to have good pace at the moment.
Indeed, as, well... And that's that as we run on board with Daniel Adventure, as Razin actually reclaims 11th from Kwan there, so he's been able to regain the place that he lost from Kwan a little bit earlier on. Aviard now in to get a new front wing as a result, and not sure if he'll actually change his strategy, because we are pretty close to the mandatory pit stop stages. I do wonder if he only has to do one stop as a result, as Tobler tries to find a way through on that is Cohen, and, well, they seem to be alone in all that. But I do wonder if Aviard is going to go just for a one stop, it seems, because we are pretty close to that mandatory pit stop stage of the race, as Cohen gets a little bit of a moment coming out of turn 2, and it's kind of continued into turn 3 there, but luckily for him, he didn't lose the car, and luckily as well, he didn't lose a place there to Tobler at the same time.
Yep.
As
Jackson is
meanwhile,
up into 12, meanwhile.
yep, he's got the place now of Quan, so now it seems that Quan is now dropping backwards from those two at the moment, as Aviard has just finished off his pit stop. He's just come out of turn 1 there, so at least for his sake, he's not a lap down at the moment. But I will be curious to see if he has to pit again or not, because we are quite close to the mandatory pit stop stage of the race. As meanwhile, Curran once again and Tobler once again fighting it out for 17th position. Is he going to try and go for the move into the hairpin? He thinks about it, but he can't make the move stick, and Cohen holds on to the place for the moment now. Then, as we now look at Adventure, and look at that, Kumar, I think he's actually gaining onto him, and yes, he is. He's got the gap down to 1.6 seconds exactly. Meanwhile, Bracky now on the inside of Kochi Chion. The fight for 5th place continues between these two, as the Venturi and the Andretti go side by side down towards the first corner. Has Bracky got the place off of Kochi into the first corner? And yes, he has. Bracky up into 5th place.
Yep, that was a good move.
And Bracky once again having another strong showing here at the Dubai Autodrome, as he just makes his way around that long swooping right-hander. Here is Ionescu, meanwhile, got a comfortable, looking pretty lonely in 2nd place, but so far probably will be satisfied.
I think he might have to worry about Kumar later in the race.
Perhaps indeed. It all depends really on how quickly he catches up to Adventure. We saw the last time the gap was around, what was it, 1.6 seconds, I think, last time we saw between Adventure and Kumar. Meanwhile, Jackson is not shook off Quan yet, so he's still got that DS cheater giving him bother, and it's preventing him from catching up to Razin. He's even having to go a little bit defensive through into that double left-hander there, which takes you onto the back straight. So, yeah, very, very interesting there. Stepniczka, meanwhile, is looking very comfortable out in front, as now we look at Quan now. Then he's trying to have a go at Jackson into the hairpin, but he can't make it stick, and he has to back out as a direct result of that. But anyways, they now make their way into the hairpin. Quan still not been able to find a way through on Jackson, who is clearly struggling so far in this Dubai ePrix. But yeah, I wonder, is Kumar perhaps close to the back of Adventure, I wonder? I'm looking on the mini-map. Well, I'm not sure if he is looking at the mini-map. I think Adventure's still got a bit of a gap to Kumar, so I think Kumar...
I want to know, meanwhile, how much fuel Aviard has, if he's going to the end or not.
We'll have to wait and see a little bit later on, I think. So we now look at Stepniczka heading down the hill towards the first corner on lap 16 of the race. He's got an 8.9 second lead. We just saw Ionescu there in the background there. So that's pretty much the gap between the pair of them at the moment. 0.9 now the gap between 3rd place. So Kumar has now brought it to under a second. In fact, it's 4 tenths the gap between Adventure and Kumar. So we've got to
have a chance.
We have a fight for 3rd. He's not close enough for this occasion, but if he's close enough, he might try and have a go onto the back straight.
Yep.
They now make their way towards the long swooping right-hander now. Then Bracky's just appearing in the background now. He's just a further 1.3 seconds behind. Sorry, 3.3 seconds behind those two. It looked like a 1 there from a distance, but it's actually a 3. But anyway, is now coming around the right-hander as well. Adventure missing the apex there. We have seen that quite a bit with battles, and Kumar was able to clip the apex there, and he might actually have a go into the onto the back straight. He was already going a bit defensive through into that left-hander there, but let's see if he can have a go.
He's got good traction here. It might be a good opportunity.
He's not close enough, I don't think, on this occasion. He hasn't quite got the overlap to try and get him around the outside. He's going to try and have a go on the inside, although Adventure is trying to shut the door on him into the hairpin, and Adventure holds on to the place for the moment. But Kumar definitely putting him under pressure here at the moment, and Kumar will try again onto the pit straight if he can. But all of that has allowed Praki to close up a little bit more as well.
Yes, indeed. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Meanwhile, the lap times are dropping massively. Tire wear is huge here. Looks like, for the first time in forever, the undercut might be stronger today.
Indeed so, as we now look at, this is Robert Ionescu, who's got a comfortable gap to 3rd at the moment, 7 seconds in fact, as the battle for 3rd continues between Adventure.
Did something happen to Stepniczka? I think it said his lead is only 6 seconds.
Oh, he's going to blow up! No! Stepniczka is out! No championship for him today. This is the same sort of thing that we saw with the Chelly last week. And Stepniczka has the bad luck that he had at Aragon once again. Ionescu will take the lead of the race, but no championship for Stepniczka. So it means as a result, the Drivers' Championship will be going down to the wire at Bahrain.
My goodness me, this is throwing everything out the window as Kumar is going for the pass on Adventure here.
Oh, there's a wheel on the track. track. There's a wheel on the track. Bracky's got damage. Bracky's got damage as a result, so that's 4th place. Down the drain, he's the only one with damage. But Bracky has got damage, and he's going to have to make a long trip to the pits. There are yellow flags out, but Carpenter and DiCelli are away from that, so they can still fight it out down at the bottom of the track. And, well, everybody's slowing down. Is Jackson going to take full advantage? Oh, Koenig's also out as well with a mechanical problem. So 2 people have retired with mechanical problems on the same straight.
My goodness me. This race has been blown out of the window.
He's had a suspension failure. It's the front right. You could just about see there. But he's out of the race. But the biggest news of that, Stepniczka is out, and the championship is going down to the wire at the Manamari Prix. Kumar has still not been able to find a way through on Adventure, but he's got a chance of maybe taking the lead in the championship if he can find a way through. He's going to the inside, onto the back straight. This could be the chance for Kumar to take the lead in the championship as he goes on the inside of Daniel Adventure, and he gets the move done. Kumar up into 2nd place, and if it stays like this, Kumar will lead the championship going into the finale.
Yes, indeed. This blowout has saved the championship chances of the top 3, definitely.
And Denholm is up into 5th place on seen by the cameras, so it might also save his chances as well as he gets up into 5th ahead of DiCelli as Carpenter also tries to find a way through on that. But poor Bracky, man, unfortunate for him. He was looking good to get some good points, but unfortunately with the wheel on the middle of the track, he ended up running over it, and as a result, he's got to pit for a new front wing. But I think because we're near the pit stop window, and in fact, yes, because as you can see with Ionescu's death panel, Jackson will be coming in at the end of this lap, as will Carpenter, so I think he could actually maybe get away with it and maybe try and charge his way back up.
Kumar is definitely a threat for the race win. We'll have to keep an eye on that gap. It's 8 seconds at the moment, but Kumar will have fresher tires in the second stint. He's fueled heavier than Ionescu right now.
And because of Stepniczka retiring and because of Ionescu leading ahead of Kumar, if it were to stay like this, the team standings will also go down to the final race at Manamar as well. So that mechanical failure might have saved Aldi's bacon there.
Yes, indeed, especially since Jackson is not having a good race, but Ionescu leads right now.
Meanwhile, the mandatory pit stops are now underway. Carpenter is in for DS Cheetah, as there's a few mechanics in the pit lane. Of course, one of them will be for Barch's Bracky, who will have to pit for a new front wing. There he is, but luckily for him, it is during the mandatory pit stop when this has happened, but it still made him lose a load of places as a direct result, as he is going to go to the end of the race now then with a new front wing. So that means that both in fact, no, I forgot there. Aviar drives for Porsche. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Jackson has gone through as well. He's finished his mandatory pit stop. So, in fact, as Carpenter rejoined just in front there of, I think that was Nguyen there. He just put 6 second stop for Ionescu, and it was a water leak to confirm Ross Denholm, although we'll probably just call it a powertrain failure. Although you could say, then again, there was, in fact, in real life where Lucas Di Grassi had smoke coming out the back of his car. So, you could say some kind of overheating, I guess. I mean, we've had the heat around here. Meanwhile, so he rejoins in 4th place of the Ionescu. He comes out behind Coach Chion, but he does have a bit of clear track in front. So that's kind of good news there for Ionescu, I guess you could say.
He's got clean air. That's gonna help him. He needs these laps. These are gonna be critical for him if he wants to pull away from Kumar.
I wonder though if he will catch up to Kochi though, because it looks like he's not pitting for about a couple of laps yet. But we'll have to.
I think he will catch him pretty quickly, but he has to. He can't waste any time. He knows every time could be critical in the battle with Kumar.
Indeed so, as they come out of the left-hander now, then we're going on to the back straight, and yeah, you can see how quickly Ionescu was able to get out of the corners. Clearly, the fresher tyres are definitely a lot quicker than the worn tyres, and Ionescu definitely eating at the bit, and I think he might already have him perhaps into the first corner. He might not even waste any time on the Andretti driver.
Yeah, but he's gonna lose time in the middle sector due to being stuck behind him.
Yep, indeed, unless he can dispose of him pretty quickly coming out of a corner. Let's see, as they now come out of the left-hander now. In fact, Ionescu's got some good traction coming out of there. So, in fact, if he could get some good traction out of one of the corners, he might dispose of him pretty quickly. Let's wait and see. As they come out of the right-hander now, then is Ionescu going
to... You can't pass around here.
Oh, okay. So there was a bit of a technical issue there with the stream. So apologies for that. It seemed Yuri accidentally pulled on the cable there for the internet and it nearly went off. But luckily that's all been sorted now. But yeah, bit of a moment. Apologies for that technical problem. I'm not sure how much of the race you actually missed in all of that. Trying to have a look, in fact.
He had a little look into the last corner, didn't have the grip, but he's going to get great traction now.
Indeed, I'm just trying to see how much they might have missed from that whole experience with the cable there. In fact, they might have not missed too much, so that's all good. So that's that really. As we now look at Ionescu on the inside of Kochi Cheong into the first corner, but Cheong holds on to the pace, and Ionescu is not going to like that one bit.
Now he's gonna be very angry with him right now. He needs to pass him quickly.
Going to try and go around the outside, but it looks like Coachy's got it covered. Razin, meanwhile, into the pits for Mercedes, and they make their way through the left-hander. Kumar is still yet to make a pit stop at this stage of the race now, then, as they make their way through into the right-hander now, then. But,
I think
yeah,
Ionescu is going to have to wait a few more corners.
I have to try and have a go onto the back straight. He obviously gained quite a lot of time coming out of this corner last time by. So let's see if he can try it this time by. As he now comes out of the corner, already has the traction on him there. Let's see if he can quickly get the overlap on the Andretti driver. It looks like at the moment he's not going to be able to do that at the moment. It looks like Coachy is going to fend it off for the moment. Although Ionescu is going to try and have a go onto the inside, into the hairpin. Can he pull the move off? No, he can't. Coachy holds on to the place for the moment. And once again, Ionescu...
This is helping Kumar brilliantly.
Indeed so. Kumar probably will be... thanking Cheong if it stays like this for the moment. Again, Ionescu tries again on traction, but he still can't find a way through. At the same time, they're also getting onto the car in front of both Ionescu and Cheong, as Carpenter tries to have a go there at Newville, but can't find a way through. Adam Rose also was pulled off. That's Adventure. Adventure is out of the race. That's another championship contender out of the race, and that's a mechanical problem for him.
Yep, once again, bad reliability, and he's reversing.
His car is going backwards. Hopefully it stops before it gets back onto the track. Hopefully it doesn't go back onto the racing line, because that will be a disaster for everybody else behind. But thankfully it has come to a sudden stop. But Adventure is out of the race. Ionescu tries to look on the inside into the last corner. Can't make it stick as they now make their way down onto the straight. Now then we go. As now Dumel meanwhile into the pits for Envision Virgin Racing. Ionescu back in the slipstream. He's going to try and look to the inside line if he can. It's a brake issue for Adventure that took him out of the race. So clearly the brakes have had a bit of a battering in that Mercedes. But Ionescu's on the inside. I think he's going to get it
got
done.
him.
And he finally gets the move done. So
When is Kumar pitting? How much more fuel does he have? He's pitting this lap, mind you. So I have to keep an eye on the gap.
12.5 seconds, meanwhile, between the top two, between Kumar and Ionescu. So
yeah, but it will get updated at the first sector split. Look how much Ionescu has pulled away from Chung already. That lap, that 2 laps he spent behind it could have big implications on this race.
The gap is now 11.7, in fact. So, in fact, he's still gained despite all of that. So, really, he didn't lose too much time in that first sector. Now, Bracky tries to have a go there at Nguyen into the first corner. Can he try and go hang it around the outside? He thought about it, but Jackson's there as well to try and bounce, but he can't make it stick there. So is Razin, I think that is as well. As meanwhile, around the outside goes Bracky there that's Nguyen there, and he already gets the move done into ninth. He's not wasting any time, and now Jackson and of course Razin are also now right behind the Porsche.
Yep, indeed.
You can clearly see how much the fresher tyres are working well around here at Dubai. It's looks like Nguyen missed the apex going through into that left-hander. Jackson will try and have a go onto the back straight, but trying to look on the minimap. Kumar is not too far away from the pit entrance, so he'll be coming in, of course, at the end of this lap. Jackson,
what's the gap? I wonder how much Ionescu could gain in the previous sector.
Jackson couldn't find a way through on the Nguyen now, but now Kumar is in. So Kumar's in. Ionescu will take the lead because he wasn't too far behind.
10.7 the gap.
The question is, because Kumar's also going to have fresher tyres, will he be able to catch up to Ionescu before the end of the race, I wonder?
I think he will be able to catch him, but it's going to be tight. Depends just how much quicker he is.
Let's see how quick the stop is. 6.4 seconds from the Jaguar Mechanics now then. Ionescu back in the lead. Cheong is currently P2 at the moment. Coachy, that is, of course, as Coach Cheong is already out of the race, of course. But, let's see where Kumar rejoins then after this pit stop as he trundles down behind Chelly now into the pit. So I think he's going to emerge in third position. So it's going to be P3 for Kumar. And, well, luckily for him, unlike with Ionescu, he won't have to deal with Cheong because Coachy Cheong is coming into the pit to the end of this lap as Kwan for DS Cheetah now pits as DeChelli finishes off his pit stop for Nissan.
So it's going to be a clean track for Kumar to give chase.
Indeed so, as they put on a fresh set of tyres and a bit more for Newville to go to the end of the race. Let's see how the Neo does after this pit stop. Kwan finishes his pit stop. 6.8, sorry, there. Meanwhile, there's 3 wide going on into the first corner there between Razan Jackson, and that's obviously Nguyen there. And, well, luckily that didn't end in the grip to
gap
do
is
so
10 seconds.
10 seconds is the gap that's between Ionescu and Kumar, but Jackson's still not been able. Left-hander now, then we go, as they're all still stuck behind the Porsche driver at the moment, as they now make their way through into the final couple of corners, and the Porsche finally comes in, but Jackson's had to lift off. Can Razin take full advantage? No, he can't, but he possibly could try and have a go at him onto the pit straight. Let's see.
Interesting. Let's have a look here.
Come out of the corner, Razin already bailing to the inside line now then, but he's not quite alongside the Audi driver just yet. Now then, Carpenter is up into third, of course, because Kochi rejoins in fourth place. In fact, so Kochi's actually could have a chance of possibly getting a podium here at Dubai because of obviously Bracky's problems and everybody dropping out around him. So Kochi Cheong actually has a chance of getting a podium here at Dubai.
Yeah, very possible.
Meanwhile, Razin currently fending off from Kwan as he still hasn't been able to find a way through on Jackson. But this battle that was going on before the pit stops has resumed between Jackson, Razan, and Kwan, of course, and not too far behind. In fact, I think that's Neuville who's actually having a pretty good race in the Neo. Yes, it is. So Neuville is actually closing up, despite the fact she just did a lock up there, going through into that left-hander and missed the apex entirely. But she's pushing hard to catch up to that group.
Yeah, indeed. Looks like her pace isn't that bad.
Well, it looks like Razin's left the door open and Carpenter's going to claim the place, and now he's going to try and have a go at Jackson into the hairpin, but he can't make it stick. Jackson holds onto the place for the moment, but Carpenter has passed Razin onto the back straight. Sorry, Kwan, sorry, not Carpenter.
Yep.
As now coming around that right-hander, we will go. Jackson already going defensive compared to Kwan to make the way through the right-hander on the racetrack. Kumar now sets the fastest lap at 1:46.834, so he's definitely flying to try and chase down Robert Ionescu. The gap 7.9 seconds between the top two at the moment, so that's the gap that Kumar needs to try and gain down if he wants to beat Ionescu.
Kumar is a second lap faster.
He's definitely flying in that Jaguar at the moment as he makes his way around the right-hander. And, well, just looking in terms of what that would mean for the team's championship, because he's holding on to those bonus points. If he can get past Ionescu, of course, although it could really depend, really, on Jackson, I think, as well. So, in fact, rephrasing that, it probably won't be enough for Jaguar to win it. They need Jackson to kind of drop out of the points to help them out, but he could lose a few more points here because Kwan is now on the inside of Jackson heading into the first corner. Can Kwan get the move done on Jackson into turn one? Down the inside goes the Vietnamese driver. He's trying to have a go, tries to hang around the outside, but he can't make it stick. Razin trying to take full advantage if he can as he make the way through the long swooping right hand. He's going to try and go around the outside of the DS Cheetah, but he's not far enough alongside to get the place, and they've lost momentum to Jackson as a result.
Yep, indeed.
As they make their way through into that double right-hander now, then as looking around to see what's going on at the rest of the order and looking onto the back straight. But yeah, this has been a race so far of attrition here at the Dubai Autodrome with so many mechanical failures in this race. 7 seconds now the gap between the top two. Meanwhile, Kochi's not too far behind Carpenter, who I think is still yet to make a pit stop. Speaking of DS Cheetahs, Kwan is now on the inside of Jackson heading down into the hairpin. Can he pull the move off on the Audi driver heading into the hairpin? He goes onto the inside line and he gets the move done. Kwan up into 8th place. Can Razin also follow through as well in the Mercedes? No, he can't. And all of that luck has allowed Neuville to now catch up to this group.
Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, gap is 7 seconds. We are going to get an update, though.
Well, we were, but Aviard's coming in. So, in fact, they didn't put him to the end of the race there. So that was a little bit bizarre.
6.6 the gap.
6.6, so he's taken 4. So he's compared to last lap, he's taken, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's around 1.3 out of him last time by. So yeah, over a second again on that lap. Meanwhile, Kochi on the back of Owen Carpenter now. Then as in fact Carpenter's already pitted, of course. I apologise. So this is the fight for the podium here. I honestly thought Carpenter didn't pit, but he has pit. So this is a legit fight for third position, and Kochi gets the move done. And Kochi Jiang is now onto the podium place. And meanwhile, DeCelli on the inside of Demel into the first corner now. Then I think these two were teammates at one point, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, DeCelli can't find a way through on Demel, and once again has to hang behind him for the moment. Meanwhile, the gap is 5.8 seconds between Kumar and Ionescu.
Yeah, Kumar is going to catch him very quickly.
They now make their way down towards the hairpin now. They're on the racetrack now. Then as we've got 9 and a bit laps to go in this race. Meanwhile, Neuville looking to the outside of Jackson, who, unseen by the cameras, has actually been overtaken by Razan. So Razan is up into 9th place. Jackson down to 10th. So all of this could really help Jaguar in the team's championship if Neuville can find a way through on Brandon Jackson here.
Yeah, indeed.
As they now make their way onto the back straight now.
How many points will Kumar lead the championship by if he wins the race?
Well, he currently holds on to the fastest lap, doesn't he, if I'm not mistaken? So
yes.
Let's quickly double check that, in fact. So he'll get 27 points. So 82 plus 27, that is equivalent to, I think that's 119, isn't it, if I'm not mistaken? So
82 plus 27, that's 109.
Alright, so almost 10 off there, so 109 points I'll have. So if it stays like this, he'll be 14 points ahead of him going into the finale.
Of Temnechka.
Up Slivnichka, of course. I'm not sure. Obviously, Denholm is out of the race, so we can't really talk about him in this championship at the moment. But yeah, that's that really is. Now the gap is 5 seconds between Ionescu and Kumar. As meanwhile, just looking around.
Ionescu is going to have to do a defensive masterclass if he wants to win this race. And I think he's going to be furious at Kogji Chung for potentially costing him.
Perhaps indeed, as Neuville has passed Jackson unseen by the cameras, and Neuville is now up into 10th place. It was on the cameras, I wasn't paying attention there, I do apologise.
4.6, the gap.
Neuville is up into 10th place, so Jackson is now outside of the points. As a result, just looking in terms of the team's championship, well, at the moment, Audi will save it, but of course, if Kumar gets by on Ionescu, that will be another story in itself.
Yep.
4.6 the gap now between the top two, who well now with Kumar, he makes his way through into the hairpin now then, using a little bit of curb on the outside before making his way through the left-hander now then, as Ionescu, well the pair of them have got a 24-second lead over Cheong, so as long as something bad happens to their cars, they should be secure in the top two. Meanwhile, Dechelli...
Ionescu has to break Kumar's tires, fall off a cliff, but that's unlikely because Kumar's tires are fresher.
Dechelli on the inside, meanwhile, of Dumel, but he can't make the move stick, and again, Dumel holds on to 5th place. Dechelli's just been struggling to find a way past on the Envision Virgin Racing car today, as they now make their way through into the left-hander now, then we go, and now heading towards the right-hander, of course, where we saw Adventure pull off to the side of the track with a brake issue, which obviously will not do his championship any good whatsoever, because he came into this 5th in the championship, and, well...
Where did Kumar start on the grid again?
Kumar started in, I think it was something like 7th or 8th on the grid, if I'm not mistaken. So he's actually gained a few places. Of course, we'll obviously check that when obviously that leaderboard thing that comes up on the left-hand side appears. But the gap is now 3.3 seconds between Ionescu and Kumar, as Kochi Cheong is 19 seconds behind Kumar at the moment.
Yep.
20. Make that 20 now. He's lost some pace now to Kumar. So that's that really, as he's trying to see if he could try and get what I think will be his first ever podium in the OC, if I'm not mistaken, unless he's already had a podium this season. I'm pretty sure Hyan can double check on that. It can double check me on that on the stream chat. But meanwhile, Dechelli on the inside of Dumel once again, but again he can't find a way through on the Brazilian, and once again Dumel putting on a great defensive masterclass on the Nissan driver. Meanwhile, Neuville holds the fort for a moment. He's now on the inside of Mohamed Razan and got some great straight line speed there. Neuville is on a charge today in this race, and you know what? She's up into 9th place. She's having a great race in that Group 3 Neo.
2.6 seconds, the gap. Kumar has gained even more.
Meanwhile, Dechelli now then all over the back of Dumel once again in the fight for 5th position. Dumel defending the inside, going through that left-hander as they now make their way, coming onto the back straight now. Then we go. So now heading onto the back street, he's in the slipstream. Oh, the Envision Virgin Racing driver is going to go to the inside line. Can he finally pull the move off here on Dumel as it goes side by side, heading down the back straight, down towards the hairpin we go. Can Dechelli get later on the brakes compared to the Envision Virgin Racing car on the inside? He's side by side with the Envision Virgin Racing car. They're still going to remain side by side coming out the corner. But again, Dumel holds on for the moment, and all of that is allowing, I think, that's Parch's Bracky to catch back up. So he's obviously had a good comeback after his issues earlier on. But you can see now Kumar is getting close now to the back of Ionescu.
Yeah, indeed, he's gaining rapidly, and it should only be a matter of time until he gets that overtake down. 1.5, he gained 7 sectors. Gon goes off the track, and he returns right into the path of Aveyard.
That's another dangerous rejoin, I think, as Aveyard once again... 25 seconds? Well, you gave 10 seconds. Oh yeah, because you gave 10 places to Choi, of course. Ignore me there, Yuri. But yeah, a 25-second time penalty there for...
Can Ionescu do anything to defend? Or is it the last cause? Is he going to have to sell for second?
As mentioned, a 25-second time penalty for Cohen Jr. for rejoining dangerously into the path of Leighton Aveyard, which is going to force him to pit for a new front wing. In fact, that bit of damage is still on the track, but that should soon disappear quite soon. But now it's under a second between Ionescu and Kumar. Kumar is right in striking distance of Robert Ionescu here.
Yep, he's got great speed right now, and let's see where he can get him. It should only be a matter of time.
As they now make their way into the hairpin now, then we will go on the racetrack as they now use a bit of curb on the outside through into the left-hander. Now then, we will go as now Kumar now has a good opportunity to try and wrap up the team's title here for Jaguar, with Jackson currently outside of the point, as now through into the right-hander. Now then goes Kumar as he tries to put Ionescu under a bit of pressure as they come down towards this left-hander. Kumar now then right in the slipstream. He's going to try and look to the inside into this left-hander, but Ionescu
Not here though.
Ionescu closes the door. Is he going to possibly try it into this left-hander? Ionescu doesn't do what we saw with Morgan a bit earlier on and missed the apex through into that left-hander. Now through into the final couple of corners we go. On the racetrack now, then Kumar really putting Ionescu under a bit of pressure. This is for the team's championship as well. As now through into the final corner we go. Kumar's going to get a run. Aviard now in to get a new front wing for the second time today. But now that's the third time he's been in the pits. Cohen also in to get damage repairs for him.
There's nothing Ionescu can do here.
Kumar, though, is not quite alongside Ionescu here, though, so Kumar's not quite got the straight line speed to Ionescu at the moment, and for the meantime, Ionescu holds on to the lead.
Yep.
Let's see, though, if he can try and possibly go around the outside into turn 3 if he's close enough. He's going to try and have a go around the outside into that right-hander. He's going to think about a go into the left-hand. No, he hasn't. Ionescu closes the door. You spoke a bit too soon there, Kurisu.
Maybe.
Coming
but
around
it's
the
only a matter of time.
As now they're coming around towards the double left-hander on the racetrack. Ionescu doing everything he can to fend off and try and get his second victory of the season. Both of them are looking to become the first repeat winner of 2022. We haven't had a repeat winner yet in Formula E, and these two are fighting for that. As now Kumar flakes to the right. He's now going to go to the inside line. Is this going to be the move this time by for Jaswant Kumar that could seal the team's championship for Jaguar now? Then as they make the way into the hairpin. No, it's not. It just seems like in straight line speed, Kumar tops out earlier than what Ionescu does.
That's strange because he had no problem overtaking the other cars.
Well, to be fair, he was struggling for a little bit trying to get through on cars. He's going to try and have a go for it into the right-hander there, but not close enough to go for the move. He's trying to force Ionescu into an error at this point in the race. And again, Ionescu not phased at this stage. Kumar losing momentum going down into this left-hander. But if Ionescu can keep this up, he might just do enough to try and grab the victory. But he's got to do this for about 5 and a bit laps.
I don't see this happening.
To go through into that left-hander now, then we go now, then up the hill through into the penultimate turn, and then into the final corner we will go on the racetrack now. Then this is the fight for the victory here at the Dubai ePrix, as Ionescu tries to save Audi's team title hopes alive here at Dubai now. Then
Omar should get him here and towards turn 1.
Going back into the slipstream line of Ionescu. 5 laps to go here at the Dubai ePrix. And again, he's not far enough alongside. He just can't get alongside Ionescu at this point in time. And once again, Ionescu holds on to the lead into turn 1.
Ionescu is being a straight line speed merchant right now.
And this is probably going to help Ionescu keep a hold of him. Let's see what goes around into this corner where we've seen a lot around the outside move. Kumar thinking about a lunge into this part of the track. But again, I think Ionescu once again just ahead. And he once again holds on to the place. Kumar doing everything he can. Clearly, he's lacking straight line speed compared to Ionescu. But doing everything he can to try and force the Romanian into a mistake here.
But he's got so much more pace. Surely he can get him.
Would think that, but so far his straight line speed has indicated he might not have the straight line speed to get Ionescu. But let's see if it happens this time. By onto the back straight. He's now into the slipstream again of Robert Ionescu heading onto the back straight. He's going to go to the inside.
This time I think that's it.
Has he got it though? Because he's not quite alongside the Audi just yet, heading into the hairpin. And once again, Ionescu is going to hold on to the place.
No way he can actually hold on to the end.
He might actually, you know, if he keeps this up or not. If Ionescu can keep this up for another
That
4
would be
and a bit laps.
incredible. I don't think it can happen though.
Would be a defensive masterclass if he pulled this off, though. Let's not jump to conclusions. As now through into the right-hander, we will go on the racetrack using a bit of curb on the outside. Kumar once again putting the pressure on the Audi driver in front. Going to try and go to the inside line, but it looks like again Ionescu's going to fend off, and he is for the time being. And well, trying to keep Audi's team title hopes alive by keeping Kumar behind at the moment. Dumel has finally lost the place to Ducelli, so Ducelli is finally up into 5th place, unseen by the camera. So Dumel down to 6th, but we're focusing on this fight for the lead here, which could be for the team's championship if Kumar finds a way through. Ionescu goes defensive into the final corner, can sense the pressure from the Jaguar drivers.
That's going to compromise his exit here. Kumar's getting great traction.
He's got to go back in the slipstream. 4 laps to go here for the win here at Dubai. He looks to the inside line of Robert Ionescu heading into the first corner. Has Kumar got it done this time by heading into the first corner on the racetrack? Now again, the straight line speed keeping Ionescu in front for the time being and doing everything he can to become the first repeat winner of 2022.
That would be a miracle if it can hold on.
As they come around these section of corners now, they're on the racetrack, through into the left-hander now, they're through the double right, here on the racetrack now, as they make their way through into this right-hander on the racetrack now, they're missing the apex a bit on the inside line, this Kumar, sorry, really, I made up an entirely new name there, but anyway, it's Kumar now, and they're making his way through into the left-hander now, then we go, tries again onto this back straight now, then which he's tried so many times, he's going to actually go to the outside this time, but I think Ionescu's going to actually try and shut the door on him, heading down this part of the track, and then Ionescu holds on to the place as Kumar tries
Kumar's going to have to dive.
Going to try and have a go, but again, Ionescu does a good job fending him off, and he holds on to the place, the experience of Ionescu, keeping Kumar back in this fight for the lead here.
Yeah, indeed. And he doesn't have any more opportunities for the rest of the lap, I don't think, so he's gonna have to try again next lap.
All of this, by the way, I should point out, is allowing Coach Gion to close up, but he's not going to have enough, I don't think, to catch up.
Don't forget, Ionescu will be back in the championship fight, even if he doesn't win this race.
And you could say the same for obviously Kumar, and of course maybe maybe it might be just those two. We'll have to wait and see, of course, because Adventure retired, Denholm retired, so we'll have to wait and see on that when we get to the end of the race. But coming around the left-hander now, then we go on the racetrack now, then through into the final couple of corners we will go, as now we will see if Kumar can find a way through on Robert Ionescu this time. But Ionescu once again, just like the previous lap, defends the inside into the final corner now, then we will go, heading onto the pit straight, 3 laps to go then for these two, to try and see if they can become the first repeat
He's
winner.
closer than ever.
Try and see if they can become the first repeat winner of 2022, but again, the straight line speed of Kumar is preventing him from getting the move
He's
done.
gonna try again though.
Try and have a go, but Ionescu wise to that, and he holds on to the place for the moment. But can Kumar possibly try and punish him through into turn 3, where we've seen more grippier tyres get the advantage around here? Let's see, he's going to try, but I think
Just
he's
not
too
close
far back.
enough.
Ionescu again holds on to the place for the time being, through the left and then through into the double right-hander. We will go, Kumar doing everything he can to get by, but for some reason, he just can't find a way through on the Audi driver at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. He's gonna have to try on the back straight, but is he gonna have enough straight line speed this time? He needs to focus on the traction here, but Ionescu keeps him very close. That means he can't get a lot of slipstream. So he tops up out early.
Happy D. Kumar again.
His only chance is to dive bomb. If he doesn't dive, he can't pass.
Gonna go for it in the slipstream. Ionescu already going defensive. Now Kumar tries to think about it into the inside. On contact been made between the pair of them into that part of the track, but luckily nothing major there. Ionescu holds onto the place, but clearly the elbows are out between the pair of them.
Yeah, indeed, Kumar is feeling the pressure. He knows he has to be aggressive, otherwise he won't win this race.
Oh, look up for Kumar there. He's pushing way too hard going into that part of the track. That won't do his tyres any good.
Ionescu is putting Kumar's tires in a microwave.
Indeed, it's being cooked at a very high temperature at this point in the track, and it doesn't help as well that the heat at Dubai is also helping that as well, which is why we've seen quite a lot of mechanical retirements here today at the Dubai Autodrome. But now coming around the final couple of corners we go, Kumar still sticking with the Audi driver now, then through into the final couple of corners we will go as they now make their way into the final corner. Again, Ionescu goes defensive into that final corner, still fit to make sure that Kumar doesn't try and do anything stupid into that final corner. Again, tries to pull out on the inside.
Kumar's up at the 5th, meanwhile.
He's reclaimed it from Nicelli. 2 laps to go here at Dubai. Pulled the ultimate lap of the race to try and see who's going to win this. Kumar again looks to the inside line of Ionescu. He's trying to have a go into turn 1, but again, Ionescu too wise to that, and he holds on to the place. And Kumar is getting desperate to try and take that win away from Ionescu.
Yes, indeed. What can he do? Where can he pass? He doesn't have the straight line speed. So what's he going to do? He's just too close to Ionescu coming out of the corners and can't gain enough on the straight as a result. And that Audi is more powerful than Jaguar in a straight line.
Indeed, he needs to think wisely if he wants to get the move done, as once again Ionescu defends the inside through into that left-hander. We will go now on the track, heading down onto the back straight for the penultimate time today. Kumar again trying to put Ionescu under pressure, doing everything he can. Demel's
up to 4th. He's got Carpenter. Has Carpenter got a problem, perhaps?
Oh, nothing there. I think, in fact, they must have caught up to Carpenter, but Kumar on the inside of Ionescu. But once again, Ionescu holds onto the place. They're even allowing the back markers to catch up to them as well, because that's, I think, Aviard, who's obviously on fresher tyres, closing up to them. So I wonder if he could actually play a part in this fight for the lead. I wonder with those fresher tyres he's got.
Could be interesting, because he's going to try to unlap himself, and that could be bad news for Kumar. Or good news if he uses this opportunity smartly.
Gonna try and have a go again into this left-hander. Kumar looks to the left, to go through the left-hander, tries to look to the inside, but again, Ionescu too wide to that, and he holds on to the lead for the moment as they make their way through into the left-hander now. Then we go, and Ionescu withstanding the pressure at the moment from Jaswant Kumar, as we've only got a couple of corners to go to start the final lap of the race here at Dubai.
Don't forget, Kumar was involved in the last lap battle last race as well. He lost to Stepnichka.
Yes, indeed. They once again, Kumar tried to get the win on the final lap, and here we go. Then Kumar looks inside as we start the final lap of the race here at Dubai. Tucks back in the slipstream, looks to the inside of Robert Ionescu again, though the speed topping out on that Jaguar. I think Ionescu might do enough to hold on to the lead for the moment. Kumar, though, again attacking into the first corner. Oh, contact made there, but Ionescu holds on, and Kumar's lost all the momentum in the world, and he's got to catch that back up. But he might have Aviar to deal with. He's trying to unlap himself.
Is he gonna have to make way for the Brit?
Looks like he's not going to do that. He's trying to catch back up to Ionescu before they get onto that back straight. But time is running out for Kumar to try and get the team started for Jaguar here at Dubai. This is really crucial for Audi to keep their slim chance of a third successive team's title alive as they now make their way through into the double left-hander on the racetrack now. Then Kumar trying to get back in the slipstream. He's right there, but is he close enough to go for the move on Ionescu? He's in the slipstream. This might be Kumar's last chance to try and win this race.
It is his last chance.
He's going to go to the inside line, side by side they go. Aviard is right there as well. He could play a part in this. Kumar looks to the inside line. Has he got the lead? From Ionescu.
No.
Ionescu holds on to the place once again. The Jaguar got out. A bit too much. I ain't got letting Ionescu make the stay in this last step. That could be it for Kumar.
Is this race over? Can Kumar do anything?
Ionescu has got a brilliant defensive masterclass here against Kumar. He's withstood the pressure, but he's got to hold this on now for a few more corners to become the first repeat winner of 2022 in the penultimate race of the season. And Kumar once again trying to have a go into these last few corners. It's probably the last corner, is probably his last chance to try and go for it if he's lucky enough. But coming out of the corner we go. Ionescu still keeping him back. Is he going to try and go defensive into the final corner now? Then we go. Ionescu has got Kumar right behind him. Ionescu goes defensive in case Kumar tries to go for it into the last corner, which he doesn't. And the final turn we go.
Is it going to be a dash to the line?
He's going to try and have a go on the inside, but he's not going to be enough. Robert Ionescu is going to win the Dubai ePrix here at Dubai after an amazing final lap showdown with Jaswant Kumar, and both championships as a result are going down to the wire. Kochi Cheong gets his first ever podium in third. A great effort as Dumal looks like he's going to try and get fourth place here.
Yeah, can he get it? I think he just about has.
Indeed so, and what a defensive masterclass from Robert Ionescu, and we have got a title showdown at the Manamar ePrix, that is for sure, because Ionescu has put himself right in the fight for the championship in the finale, along with Kumar. P4 for Dumal, P5 for Carpenter there, P6 for DiCelli, P7 for Bracchi, P8 for Kwan there, as Neuvel, he's going to cross the line to finish in 9th place for Neo. A good race for her. She gets points for Neo in 9th, and the final point goes to Raz. I mean that Jackson doesn't get any points, and I think as a result, he's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be...
Manama, not Panama, Hyun.
Manama ePrix, yeah, Manama.
We're not going to Panama. We don't want to dodge any taxes.
Well, we go to Monaco. We used to go to Monaco, but anyway, so now we're now coming around the right-hander goes Tobler there, as we're just waiting for him to finish, I think, unless there's another car out there. No, I think he's the only one. He's quite far away back, of course. Of course, let's not forget as well that both Aviard and Cohen have time penalties, so of course they'll obviously be added on once we get to the end of the race, of course, although I think Aviard is probably going to stay where he is because he was right behind. He was right behind the battle for the lead, wasn't he? So I think he's going to stay where he is because I think there was only 15 cars left in this race, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, it's Tobelen now then, as in fact Cohen finished 15th, but of course he has a time penalty, so that kind of nullifies itself, I guess, against Aviard. So anyway, Tobler will cross the line in 13th, and in fact 14th and 15th will actually stay where they are, despite their time penalties. But that's the race done with Robert Ionescu, your winner here at Dubai, the first repeat winner, and as a result, we've got a very good title showdown at the final race. Of course, Audi will probably still need a bit of luck to win the team start at the last race at Manamar, but for now at least, they've kept their slim shot of a third successive team's title alive. So here is the final results of the race after an amazing end to the race. Robert Ionescu becomes the first repeat winner of the season with Jaswant Kumar in second. Kochi Cheong gets his first ever podium in third, with Raphael Demel in fourth, Owen Carpenter in fifth, with Dominic DiCelli in sixth, Bartish Bracchi in seventh, with Nguyen Minh Quan in eighth, Bella Neuvel, a great result for her in ninth, with Mohamed Razan completing the points in 10th, Brandon Jackson, a disappointing race in 11th, and you can do the rest, Kurisu.
Sure, Huamenguin is in P12, Jakub Tobola 13th, Leighton Aveyard 14th, Sarkoren Jr. 15th, and he's the last finisher. The retirements are Daniel Adventure with a brake problem, Ross Denholm with an engine failure, Jakub Stebniczka with an engine failure, Marvus Koenig with a suspension failure, Cass Morgan, Kogjin Chung, and Sana Choi with crashes.
Yep, and the fastest lap of the race, just to clarify, it is Jaswant Kumar. So along with the 18 points that he will get for the fastest lap, he will also get the 2 bonus. Sorry, for second place, he'll get the 2 bonus points for the fastest lap of the race. So 20 points going the way to Jaguar, but in the end, not enough for them to wrap up the title here today. They'll have to wait for the finale at Bahrain. Well, there you have it then. That has been it from the Dubai ePrix. A very, very exciting race indeed. Once again, this track delivering on some good racing for Formula E, and well, a fantastic. We've got a fantastic showdown to come in 2 weeks' time. One more race to go for Formula E in 2022, and it will take place, as per usual, at the outer layout of the Bahrain International Circuit in Sakhir for the Manama ePrix, and both championships on the line here, and it's going to be quite an exciting finale, I feel.
How many drivers do we have left in the title fight?
I will double check, but I think it's around 3 or 4, I think. But I will double check on that afterwards. But yeah, that is that really then, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. A very, very fun race indeed. And, well, we have got a very good finale to come, I am sure. But then, until then, guys, that has been it then. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, we're not done with live streams just yet, of course, because coming up at 7 p.m. BST, we have the Formula 2 qualifying session over at Rio de Janeiro. So do look forward to that. But until then, guys, that has been it. I hope you have enjoyed it. So thank you all for watching. I've been JW97. He's been Kurisu. In 2 weeks' time, we'll have the finale. Next week will be World Champco, of course, over at Yehognam. And we will see you, of course, next time. Goodbye.
Bye.